No. You're just lying to me right now.
Hello?
Oh, hey, what's up? You're not lying to me. Nice. What's up, my dude?
Not too bad. Not too much.
All right.
But like,
Here, let
I,
me.
I,
Sorry, let me mute my game audio. All right, go for it.
I think what I was talking about is my knee-jerk reaction to you describing it as money with extra steps.
Sure.
You are technically correct. However, my knee-jerk reaction to it being described as such, because I'm still a raging commie. I don't like money.
Yeah. So wait. Oh wait. Yeah. Just let me side note why we don't like money. Because actually, when I was younger, I really didn't like money either. But let me notepad. Let's notepad this real quick. All right. I know money. All right. Continue. Sorry.
Because of the whole Marxian principle of that money is like one of the biggest things. Even though nowadays money is not based on the things that like the amount of physical cash you have, just numbers on a screen. It still drives a wedge between people who are like the working class and the people who are upper class, people who have for the most part inherited their wealth. Like upper class people have certain rights, while working class people don't, and that's just a fact of life that we like in capitalist countries we're just kind of used to. Like if you own like a big mansion and you get broken into, the police are going to show up like almost immediately.
Yeah, of course.
If you're like if you're like poor, like dirt poor, they're going to take like a couple of hours maybe.
Yeah. I agree with that.
But from a sociological standpoint, like I think the reason why my knee-jerk reaction is a little bit stronger than what other people on the left would say like have, is the factor that I consider money to be an inherently monetary transaction. So there is like a financial basis to it, whether it be from like bank to bank or just like physical cash in hand. When you're talking about hours of work and stuff like that, that's not inherently financial. That's just more something you've done.
Okay, I got you. So
it's like I scratch your back, you scratch mine.
right, okay, gotcha. So then I guess how would we incentivize people from doing stuff that doesn't have, like, is there a way? So for example, like as a Twitch streamer, right? How would we incentivize like people as entertainers that or like jobs that wouldn't be big enough? I'll just play this one out. Jobs that wouldn't be big enough to have a like a union to yeah. How would we incentivize people to do those jobs? Or like yeah.
It's interesting that you bring that up, because like I'm working with a bunch of like leftist content creators on YouTube and like as well as like journalists and stuff like that to create a union for leftist content creators. There's not many of us, but we do exist. I think the point is whilst we still have capitalism and whilst we still have like all like the freedoms we do have, it's important to put those unions in place so that people are more incentivized to go into those areas of work, so that we have representatives for those people who are in those areas of work, and that we can actually guarantee that those people will have beneficial rights when they get into those workspaces. Regardless of how much training you need or what skill sets you need or what kind of personality you need for those kinds of jobs, because we all understand that doctors need to have some degree of a bedside manner.
Yeah.
Even though we've all had the doctor at least once or twice that doesn't have a very good bedside manner. But it's I think it is crucial to try and like you said, there are going to be shortages of work, and I think
So wait. Can I go back? Can I go back to one point real quick, and then I'll let you talk about work shortages. So like for example, my question. I guess I'll rephrase it in a different way. My question is something along the lines of like let's say eventually there's going like people are going to create like new jobs, right? Or like find something that isn't like really beneficial to society, but still merits pay. Like, for example, I sell Yu-Gi-Oh! Or I sell trading cards on the side, right? Okay, I can't put. I'm changing my title to what's it called? To just chatting because I cannot use my brain right now. Okay, just chatting. Great. One sec. DreamHack in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, in 4 days. Okay. Debating Anarcho-Communist Pog. All right. Excellent.
This is less of a debate and more of a discussion.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, so what I was, like, last time I let you talk for pretty much everything. This time I actually have opinions about this, so let me actually talk them out. So anyway, so what did I want to say? Oh, actually, can I will people get mad if I full screen? Let's find out. All right, if people get mad at me for full screening, shut up. Anyway, so yeah, so what I was asking is like something along the lines of like if eventually there's going to be a job created that like there's not going to be a union for, or like even if you could say like eventually there's going to be a union for them, like I'm going to create a very small person like me creates a job or like finds like something that merits some sort of income that wouldn't even be worth like full-time pay or part-time pay or however our pay structure is working, but still merits some type of reward. So for example, like I said, I sell Yu-Gi-Oh cards on the side, right? And if I sell like a really cheap Yu-Gi-Oh card, obviously I get less money than if I sell a more expensive one. And it's not necessarily based on the time I work, it's based on the value of how much I contribute to the website, or in turn, if I traded a player, it's not based on like how well I negotiated or like my charisma level or how much time I invested into researching the cards. It's pretty much almost exclusively based on the value I give to the other party I'm trading into. So I guess two-pronged question is, part one, how do we what's our policy on when we create jobs that don't merit a union necessarily, or where an individual finds a source of income that at least doesn't merit a union or doesn't merit like full-time pay? And question two is, how do we account for jobs like sales, for example, that are based more on value provided rather than on time worked?
So, like, to cover like the first part of that, where you were talking about like small jobs that don't have that many people working them, that don't really merit like having a union. A perfect example of this is au pairs. People who are basically nannies, but not really. They don't really work for money per se. They kind of just like the family themselves give them somewhere to live. There's a lot of au pairs on this planet. I'm not doubting that at all. But it's a very difficult job to unionize around because you're not being paid a steady wage.
And I'm sorry, what do you call them? In America, I think we call them like host families, or surrogate families or something like that. What are you calling them? You can just type it in general for me or PM me.
I'm referring to the individual that is doing the job as an au pair.
Why am I not getting this? Where did you?
It's in stream chat.
Oh, it's in stream chat. I'm trolling. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard. Okay, great. I definitely don't know what that means. All right, fantastic. Yeah, go for it.
So, like, an au pair is like a man and a woman who offers to like clean somebody's house, look after their children, go shopping for them, and stuff like that. Just general housework.
Sure.
And in return, they just like want to be fed, just want to like have somewhere to stay, especially if they're moving to another country. So au pairs are like really common in places. So like you'll have like an au pair who's originally from Britain living in France. They're there for like college or university or something like that. They don't want to be paid per se, but they do want somewhere to like live whilst they're like studying.
Yeah.
They want something that's flexible.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, I understand what the concept is. Yeah, sure.
au pairs are not unionized, and not that I know of in any country, not even like the
Right.
UK or like France and stuff like that. Mainly because they move to other countries. It's very difficult. It's very difficult
Well,
for an
yeah,
au pair
no,
to
but
be like
then
successful here.
I'm seeing where this is going, where we have a stronger world government of sorts, and then we can have a universal union, and then we can unionize all of au pairs. I'm assuming is something
Well,
along the
no,
lines. Oh no, okay,
no. What I'm talking about is syndication. Where within like anarcho-communist like commune, you would have what we class as a small a small job syndicate. So small job syndicates are basically councils filled with people who are members of like a workforce who is not represented by a union,
okay, sure, okay,
and they sit around and they basically bargain for what rules and legislation that they want to be put in place so that they feel safe doing the job that they do.
hmm,
So that there are certain like rules and regulations of how they should be paid, or how they should be rewarded for the work that they do, and set the basically make their case for how important their job is to the community.
hmm,
So like for au pairs, like they're crucial because a lot of au pairs help out like single parents,
sure,
and like look after their kids, and they also like homeschool their kids as well, like especially for older like au pairs. Um, so like it allows for the parents to have like more freedom and like more time to work or more time to like go and have a social life and stuff like that, whilst not whilst not affecting the child in any negative way.
hmm,
They're still getting to see their parents, and they're also still learning something whilst they're at home.
yeah.
So you can make that point of like even streamers could have their own syndicate.
Right. Okay.
But
Yeah, that's fair. So I would just go like I would say, hey, I streamed like 20 hours to 10 viewers. Let's negotiate what my reward should be, essentially, or something along
yeah,
those lines. Okay.
exactly.
Yeah, that's fair enough then. So under your system, would there be any type of like disposable income or disposable resources of sorts?
Sure. The basic principle of a gift economy, that's the economic stance of what
Mm-hmm.
anarcho-communist system is a gift economy. All excess. So say you work on a farm,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and you help produce like all the crops and everything. You help like feed the cows and everything. All the you get you get a percentage of the harvest,
Sure.
and you get to take that home.
Yeah.
That's your food. That's your and everything else like that. Anything that is a surplus of that, anything that is not going towards the workers or the farmer themselves, goes to a storage facility that other people can use once they've like reached their 14 hours a week,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
which
Yeah.
goes back to the whole 14 hours thing. Um, uh, so yeah, that's like what we do with like the surplus of like what we class as like basic
Oh
needs, things
no,
that
I
we need to
yeah. So
survive.
like, but as the individual though, do I have like I know like obviously like hey like I ran out of toilet paper, Mr. Union, can I get a little bit more toilet paper? Sure, dude, you ran out.
Yeah,
There you go.
sure.
But no,
So
but like do we have like do we have some sort of disposable resource or something that the individual
yeah,
can use or like trade to other people?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
One of the ways that goes back to the syndicate, because the syndicate is directly linked to the union in that area that divvies up everything. They can give you like a special thing saying, this person needs like this and this and this, and you can
Mm-hmm.
just go in and get it. Like, if there's
And
perfectly good reason.
let me explain why I'm asking this. Then I think I'm not making myself clear. So like, let's say I go to a friend, or like a friend comes over to my house. And they say, "Wow, dude, that's like a really cool chair. Can I buy it from you?" Yeah, sure, dude. What do I receive for my friend wanting to buy my chair?
You can negotiate. You can negotiate almost anything.
Yeah, but what would I receive though? Is it a bartering system, or like does he have? Can I get like his
You
hour
could do a
credits or?
bartering system. You could do a bartering
Mhm.
system in that context of things. If you're borrowing, it would have to be some. This is where the concept of mutual aid comes in.
Mhm.
So a mutual exchange for mutual gratification from the exchange.
Mhm.
So like he's getting a chair that he can use, but you need to get something that will be equally useful to you.
Yeah, so he can provide like a service to me or something along
Yes.
those lines. Okay, gotcha.
It doesn't even have to be immediate. Like it doesn't have to be something he does.
Yeah, yeah, sure. He can write like an
Yeah.
IOU or something, or
Yeah.
like he can owe me a fee. Yeah, yeah, all right, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, then all I would say to that is, overall, I agree with this system, and if time weren't an issue and resources weren't an issue, I would agree with this 100%. But
Yeah.
this seems like a really inefficient system compared to literally using money. And the reason I say that is like it seems really like I go to I go to streamer, and I'm using streaming as an example because it feels really conducive to me to use it. Like I stream for
Yeah,
5 hours.
For the time being, that's all you pretty much know. That's what you know the most about.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
it's for you to explain it.
But I'm sure like it would be really easy for me to use like waiters as an example also, or something along those lines. It's just this is the most readily available example in my head. So like I stream for 5 hours, and then like someone comes on and says, wow, this guy is doing a really good job, and like tips me. That sounds really like much more efficient to me, even though I'm not getting like I would agree with you. There should be a way to like to what's it called, to kind of reward me getting like doing 5 hours of entertainment for people. I agree there should be like some sort of syndicate or something like that. But also I feel like it's very efficient for like individuals to be able to like allocate resources, and I feel like money does that extraordinarily efficiently. That's kind of why we've been one of the reasons why we've been using money. But yes, I do agree with all the other bad points about money. Yes, it creates class antagonism. Yes, it creates wealth inequality, and we've been on a level of wealth inequality we've never seen before, despite us being the most work efficient we've ever been. Yes, I agree with you on all those points. I just think abolishing money completely seems really inefficient. Yeah, go for it.
But the thing is that I totally understand and I totally get it, and I totally. No communist on the face of this planet has ever said that capitalism, in the case of money, is inefficient.
Mm-hmm.
It is efficient. It's extremely efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is unlike every single other circumstance within like the capitalist system. So like if you go do stock trading and everything else like that, there is a market cap. However, there's no market cap for how much money an individual can hold on to.
True.
So the whole point of like with communists and socialists and even collectivists or just anyone on the left is how do we create a system of governance that is efficient, allows people to have their individual rights, their individual freedoms, and do what they want and do what they desire to, without being restrained, but also have an economic system that actually serves them as individuals, whether they are doing really, really well and have a lot of things, or doing really, really badly and have nothing.
Well, why don't we like make a heavily regulated either heavily regulated capitalist system or heavily regulated social capitalist system, mixed economy, that's what it's called.
That would be a social democracy.
Sure.
So social democrats like Bernie Sanders, and this is a really unpopular opinion amongst Americans because they're like, he calls himself a socialist, so he must.
Oh
be
yeah,
one.
people get so triggered at the words. Oh my god, I hate that so much. But yeah, continue.
Yeah. But he in his personal life and historically, he absolutely is a socialist. But the policy basis he runs on is social democracy, which is still a capitalist system. There's still money. That nobody's gonna like wipe out capitalism in a socially democratic system. Even the concept of that just makes me laugh. Because I live in a socially democratic country. I guess the best way you could phrase social democrats is they want to make life for working class people easier.
Yeah.
And less jarring. So they want to have like a strong welfare state. And the point of a welfare state is not a hand out, it's a hand up.
Yeah, I agree. And it's also a baseline as well. So like if you like, there's no such thing as poor people essentially. Yeah. Or like we just set a baseline of like no one should live below this standard of living, and we like same thing with minimum wage. No one should be paid less than this, etc., etc.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I think of it in the principle of the ladders principle. You have three ladders like propped up against a wall.
sure.
You have upper class people at the top of the ladder, and they have absolutely everything.
Hmm.
You have middle class people on another ladder in the middle who have just they live comfortably, but they're not stinking rich.
Hmm.
And then you've got people at the bottom of the ladder who have almost nothing and barely scrape by.
Hmm.
You take the money from the rich and just enough money from the rich so that they become middle class, and you take the money from the rich and give it to the poor so they become middle class.
Yeah.
You make everyone on an equal playing field. Equity.
Oh.
Everyone has the same start in life.
Well, I agree with the same starting line, but why? Well, hold on. Yeah. So wait. Before here, hold on. That's a second thing I need to ask you about. Oh, we already answered that question. Fantastic. Yeah. So could you convince me like why we should go for anarcho-communist? But I'm so used to saying anarcho-capitalist for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, it's because of ANCAPs only exist on the internet, and you probably run into more ANCAPs than you do ANCOMs.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. I've just heard the term more. I've never talked to an anarcho-capitalist. I've run into a ton of like, dude, like just laissez-faire, free market, like the French did. Wait, I didn't even know this. They did this in France, and it turned out horribly within like I think either a year or 2 years. Like even the person that invented laissez-faire screwed it up in the community he built it in. I get so mad at those people. I'm like, well, what happens when like a company screws up? Well, like, people will stop buying their products. I'm like, okay, well, what's it called? Chick-fil-A hates gay people. Why aren't people not buying their products? Well, who cares about it? Like, they tell you in one sentence, like, people will stop buying their products, and then in the next sentence, who cares? Just let them be a business. We separate the politics from the business. I'm like, what are you talking about then? But anyway, sorry. So yeah, could you
I just nudge them to the side. I'm just like, look at the Great Depression.
Yeah. Like, I mean, most like, wait, I'm sorry. I've been told this isn't true. What I was taught in school was most depressions in America have been because of deregulation. But I've been told that isn't true. So I can't in good faith say this online. But, unless you wanted to say something about that, yeah.
The thing with deregulation, like, deregulation actually doesn't mean anything on an economic level. It's actually a race to the top. So one man's deregulation is another man's regulation.
Yeah, sure, I agree.
You can't like one area of the economy you cannot deregulate is the banks.
Mm-hmm.
And when you even if you hypothetically deregulated the banks, what is the first thing that would happen? Hyperinflation.
Yeah.
What would happen after that? Great Depression.
I mean, it's not even the banks. It's just anyone who owns a certain amount of capital should be super regulated, right? Like, if someone holds an immense amount of power, like banks, like, they probably should be regulated. Like, and I hate one of my favorite arguments, and sorry, I promise I'll get back to what I actually wanted to ask. One of my favorite arguments that people make is like, well, businesses don't do this anyway, so, like, we can just, like, why do we even need to make a law, man? That's literally like saying, well, you're not going to kill anyone anyway, why do we need to make murder illegal? Or my favorite, I literally unironically heard this argument, well, like, for the net neutrality, like, businesses aren't even going to abuse net neutrality anyway, so, like, what? Like, let's just deregulate it, man. Like, what are you? What?
Yeah. It's like building a house and then saying, oh, why do we? It's not catching fire now. Why do we need to make it with fireproof materials?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I'm answering chat real quick. Anyway, so what did I want to say? So my question was, can you convince me to go for like an anarcho-communist society instead of like a heavy regulated either mixed economy or heavily regulated capitalist economy. And also, I'm heavily alongside this, I'll let you know I'm heavily in favor of universal basic income. Yeah, thank you. UBI. So, and for those of you in chat who don't know what a UBI is, that's basically giving away free money every month for free. Like Andrew Yang, give $1,000 a month for free. And if you disagree with me, I'm free. I'm more than welcome to argue with you. Anyway, continue.
I have an alternative to UBI.
Sure.
Which I've been trying to get popularized. And it's the problem. One of the biggest criticisms for socialists of UBI is it kind of takes it takes especially in Andrew Yang's policy, where you basically have a sales tax. What you're basically doing is just taking money from the poor and giving it back to them.
Yeah. Also, could you explain to me? I'm sure you know this better than I do. What a value-added tax is? I literally don't know what that means.
So, a value-added tax is usually set by the government. So in the UK, we have very, very high value-added tax on a lot of things. So like on electronics, I know it's like 14.5%. It's something insane like that. And it's based on, it's like 14% per pound. So like 14% per dollar. So you're adding like 14 cents to every dollar that thing is already being to the RRP, like the recommended retail price.
And who's paying for this?
You.
Oh, so it's literally like a consumption sales tax?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's okay. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
And in return, all of the money made from like VAT and stuff like that, so supermarkets like Walmart and everything else like that would have to pay pay all that VAT back to the government.
Yeah.
We all know where that money would go in America. The military.
Yeah. Most likely. I will say most likely. Yeah, for sure.
It's not going towards welfare, is it? Unless you're in California.
That's what they say.
But, one of the like socialist problems is that it kind of takes like representation away from the workers, and kind of like in a weird way. Like if you have UBI, what you're essentially doing is like you're preparing for you are acknowledging that you're going to have to like lay off a shit ton of workers, and they're going to be left without any money. And if they're left without money, who's going to buy your products? Yeah.
Well, so I would advocate UBI with emphasis on. I also I'm ready to combat the problems of UBI for sure. So one of the problems is like we're acknowledging that jobs are going to be laid off. So either A, we just increase UBI, no problem, or B, I think it's more favorable that we also place a huge emphasis on unions. I think that's one of the biggest things we need to work on in America specifically, is we strengthen unions by like 10 million. Like holy moly, and I definitely did not swear on stream or begin to. Holy moly, the dystopian notion, or the Orwellian notion of the phrase right to work states triggers me so hard. Oh my god. Anyway, sorry, continue. So I would just say like if we're acknowledging that we're laying off workers, I would just strengthen unions, and that probably would help that problem. But
and the original people who were in favor of UBI were like right-wing libertarians, like Ron Paul and everything, which worries me.
Ron Paul, Nixon. Well, so here, let me actually explain that, because I just saw a video on this by Hassan Piker. Yes, Hassan Piker.
Yes, I'm actually a friend of Hassan's.
Oh, that's awesome. Cool. But basically the reason why, so Nixon, that right-wing economist that I forget the name of, but if you tell me, like,
it would have been Rothbard, or
no.
It would have been
Milton Friedman.
Yeah,
there we go. Who I'd never heard of Milton Friedman until I heard UBI. But anyway, so why they were in favor of it was because of the way it was funded. So, for example, a value-added tax is like a very good example of what Republicans would, what right-wing people would support, which is we're basically taking equally from everyone and redistributing equally to everyone, or somewhat, which is very bad because if you take equally from everyone, like statistics show and logic shows, you're screwing over poor people disproportionately. Or,
Yeah.
more importantly, what Andrew Yang wants to do is, let's say you get $500 in healthcare a month, and then the UBI he's proposing is $1,000 a month. You would have to opt into UBI, which means what's it called? You don't have healthcare anymore. So although you get $1,000 a month, you essentially are only getting an extra $500 a month, which is concerning to me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's why right wingers liked it, because it essentially would save the government money. But yeah.
So, the socialist alternative to UBI was proposed by a French guy called Bernard Friot.
Mm-hmm.
He's been talking about it for like most of his adult life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a salary for life, or as he would say in French,
Okay.
le salary.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? You cut off. I only heard up to La Salary.
Or as he would call it, le salary à vie.
Okay,
That's
awesome.
what it said. And a salary for life is so the example he gave was like for France, because you know he's French, that's all he knows. So, but it can be scaled to other countries.
Of course, yeah.
Is when you turn 16 or 18, depending on what the age of consent is, or like the generalized ages in that country. So in America it would be 18, in the UK
Age
it would
of
be
consent triggers me also, but yeah, we can get into that later. But yeah, go for it.
16. So once you turn that age, you receive 1,500 per month.
Sure.
That is like the example he gave.
Mm-hmm.
If you go and get a diploma, or you go and get qualified in something, that adds points on to your salary for life.
Mm-hmm.
So you get more money every month. And rather than it just being funded via just income taxes, because income taxes are becoming increasingly easy to avoid.
Yes.
You do it via surplus tax on massive corporations.
Define surplus tax.
So once a company has taken away like all of its expenses, its expenditure, including your wages if you work there, it still has a surplus which it divvies up amongst the people, like its shareholders as well as the people up the top.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's always like a surplus after that. So the surplus after that is taxed.
Mm-hmm.
So the money that's not going anywhere is taxed.
Mm-hmm.
The money that is essentially just sitting there and doing nothing, and just all it's doing is collecting interest.
Yeah. Is tax. Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's fair. I agree with that.
And the idea being is like it takes a long time for you to like train yourself and get the experience and everything to get a job. But like if you become an engineer in a very specific field, like you take like 8 years of that, and it can take years of for you to get enough experience to get a good paying job. So at least with salary for life, you're getting paid the median wage for what you'd be doing. Whilst you're waiting to like find a job that is willing to take you on, and even if that job is made redundant, such as like it's replaced by automation, or they found a different way of doing it, you're still getting paid the median of what you would have been getting paid anyway. And you can go back to school, and you can do all that all over again, and you can just rinse and repeat, and you can switch jobs and everything. This goes back to the whole thing of you saying, what if there's like a loss of like doctors or something like that. Like that's how you do it, is like you basically just incentivize them that even if they don't get into becoming a doctor, or if they're laid off or made redundant or whatever, they can still make the doctor's wage.
Yeah.
They can still add money to themselves without any loss of like income. But there is a cap, because obviously, like, otherwise you just have people like living in universities.
Yeah, for sure.
So like, for him it was like capped at like 7,000 a month. which is fair.
Yeah,
Like that's
sure.
basically middle class wages right there. That's
No, I mean, I
um,
agree. As long as there's some incentive or some way to prevent people from just, like, basically providing nothing to society while also scamming society out of thousands of dollars, I'm perfectly fine with that idea. I like that idea much more than UBI because it incentivizes people to, it incentivizes, and also, I would say more importantly, it rewards people for
yeah,
pursuing like harder work, I guess, or more
yeah,
contributive work. Yeah, sure.
and and also it can in a weird way, like especially if you like in the case of like doctors and stuff like that. So if you're 16 and you go to university and you become a doctor and everything,
Hmm.
um, and you don't have you don't get the job, so you
Hmm.
decide, screw it, I'm going to become an engineer. You
Yeah.
become an engineer, but you're also a qualified doctor.
Yeah, exactly. So you
Like
have, yeah.
imagine the money that company is going to save from like try like getting ambulances like whilst accidents happen.
Yeah.
You're there.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, for sure. And they're
You're
not
a
going to
much
pay you
more
like, wait, I
motivated
just provided first
workforce.
aid. Do I not get a bonus? No, sorry, buddy. Yeah, yeah, no, I agree.
And also the factor of it is if you're being like paid like 1,500 a month from like the government, why would you work for a company? So the company has to incentivize you to work for them.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's not a factor of, oh, he has like experience we want. It's just the factor of he needs a job.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. Yeah, when he
Yeah.
needs the job, when the power is in the company to negotiate, I think that's very bad. No, I agree with you. I like this idea way
Yeah.
more than UBI. Before I want to get back to the question I had, but real quick, making 150 bow ties pastas, nice, dude. All right, so Conger asked this question, which I can answer also, but I'm interested to hear your take. So he asked, is basically what he meant was, is capitalism not a good system because it mirrors natural selection? And I would say, yes, it does mirror natural selection, and that's in a way a good thing, but also a bad thing. What you're essentially asking is, wait, is it not good that some people become homeless because they don't get to oh, what's it
Yeah,
called? They don't
they
have
live
the
in an
skills
area
for
because
some
yeah,
reason?
yeah, they
Yeah.
don't have the skills or they live in an area that has like job market.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So A, yes, it does mirror it in a way it does. Not perfectly though. And B, are you in favor of executing mentally disabled people or letting them die or what's going on here?
Yeah,
Yeah. And B, it doesn't 100% mirror natural selection. So humans live very long, as we can see. Therefore, the power is usually becomes consolidated by one party. When the power is consolidated by one party, unfair practices come into play, where one party can essentially own slaves if they wanted to. So
yep.
slavery, if you argue with that point, if you argue toward that point, you would say, well, slavery is a form of natural selection, right? America and the whites had more power than everyone else, so we could just enslave people. I guess that's natural selection, but I don't want to live in a world with slaves. Like, I don't think that's
There's,
good. I'm not sure,
there's,
though.
it's also not a very good example of natural selection, because of the factor that, so if you look at like free market societies, there's loads of them. Like if you ever listen to a libertarian say free markets are the way to go, just ask them to go and live in Singapore. They said anytime I say I'm a socialist, they tell me to go live in Venezuela. Tell them to go live in Singapore
Yeah.
if they like free market.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, and the thing is like when you have like free market capitalism as Adam Smith envisioned, like you have this problem of it's not very good at mirroring natural selection because like if you've not got a welfare state and it's a free market system, where's the money for the taxes going? Especially in Singapore because they don't have a military, so it's not even military spending anymore. Where's it going? Oh yeah, they're bailing out the banks.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
That's a
bailing
nice
out
meme.
businesses that don't work. they're
Yeah, and then I would also say, Conger, so as a utilitarian, my point of view is I like to maximize happiness. So my goal in life is to make as many human beings happy, and natural selection does not do that. It makes only the strong survive and the weak die, like you said. So I'd rather have like 7 billion people who are living happy instead of 1 billion people who are like extremely skilled but we only have 1 billion people, my dude. Like, come on. Or like 6 billion people, but 3 billion people are living enslaved. I'd argue, like, maybe it should be the job of a government or some sort of ruling body or some sort of authority to step in and redistribute wealth so everyone's happy instead of just a group of people. Even if it's a majority, like, I don't think, like, I think there should be a minimum standard of living to where we don't have homelessness or literal slaves or, like, and I mean, we do this with criminals, right? Like, why don't we allow criminals? Like, aren't criminal organizations like a form of natural selection as well? Like, yeah, come on, dude. Nice meme. Anyway.
There's also the factor of like so in the world there's about 20 million deaths that were easily preventable due to starvation, lack of clean drinking water, and this isn't even happening in just third world countries. This is happening in first world countries as well, or what we think of as first world countries. Is that when you allow 20 million people to die, you are essentially punishing them in the worst way possible for being born in a country that had been colonialized by a bigger and more powerful country. So, like in the case of most of Africa, apart from like South Africa, but even then, that's like a big fucking question mark.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, I agree.
And same thing for like Thailand and stuff like that. Like all these countries have been colonialized by like massive countries, like either the UK or like in the case of like Middle Eastern countries like America. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I dude, listen, I don't really do any military arguments because I'm probably gonna end up agreeing with you. But yes, to that point, I do agree with you. But yeah. I don't take any offense to that. Go for it.
But yeah, you're basically just it's just systematic racism by that point, because you're just allowing all these people to die that because they happen to live in a country that was like, in the case of Britain, like Britain's a perfect example. Britain has throughout its history as like an empire, it has colonized 3/4 of the world.
Yeah.
It has controlled at some point every country on this planet bar 3, and that's because they were landlocked. And a lot of those countries, yes.
Wait, they didn't control Russia though, right?
Wrong.
They controlled Russia? Are you sure about this?
The Anglo-Saxons, who are the ancestors of modern Bretonians, definitely did at one point run Russia.
Pog. Cool. Interesting.
Yeah. Not all of Russia, because that would be kind of difficult.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen Siberia, but nobody wants to go
there.
No,
no, true. Interesting. What are out of curiosity, what are the 3 countries they haven't ruled?
I honestly can't remember.
I'm probably... Wait, no, Antarctica's a lie because they have stakes in Antarctica.
Yeah, they own a pretty large stake.
China? I mean, I know, like, they had the Opium War, but I don't think they ever had control over China.
I think you're forgetting the fact that we used to own Hong Kong for a while.
Oh, yeah, but we only own part of China, or you only own part of China.
We also owned, like, we also invaded, like, the whole of China before.
So. Oh, really? Oh, yikes, okay,
this was oh god, this would have been at least 250 years ago, yeah. Okay, so there are actually 22 countries that we haven't invaded.
Okay, yeah, that sounds...
That's because they were already colonized by another country.
Alright, yeah, that sounds reasonable, yeah.
Andorra, Belarus, Bolivia, Burundi, Central African Republic, Chad, Congo, Guatemala, Ivory Coast, Kyrgyzstan, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, Mali, the Marshall Islands, Monaco, Mongolia, Paraguay, São Tomé and the Principe, Sweden, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and the Vatican City. But then again, the Vatican City.
Vatican City is a meme. Yeah, Vatican. It was under Rome, and like it. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's a nice loophole of basically saying, well, it was created like in the 1900s. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Was there a dank meme? There was a dank meme I had. I forget it. Anyway, so we're on the same page for salary of life. Explain to me why we're still pushing for anarcho-communism as opposed to heavily regulated capitalism slash socialism.
So my whole thing is like the reason why I like do interviews and stuff like that is not to try and like convince people of being like anarcho-communist. It's to try and swing people towards like leftist ideas because
Sure.
It's much easier for like someone on the far left to swing you like closer and closer.
Oh yeah, sure.
Center and like everything because they can explain every step of the way.
Wait, hold on. I need to pause you. I thought the far left was fascist. Wait, that's what I learned in school. I thought the far right was communist. Wait, what? Have you ever heard those arguments before, by the way?
Oh my god, like
it's the National Socialist Party, right? That means it's far left, right? All right, sorry, I needed to meme that. Continue. Man. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah, like it's like my whole thing is like trying to like swing people further to the left. Whether further to the left, or it depends on where you're coming from at the start. Like you can be a conservative and you can swing over to being a social democrat. That's still a win in my eyes. That's still a win. You can be like a fucking fascist and just become a center-right conservative. Still a win. Still, like my goal is not to try and like convince people that anarcho-communism is the way to go. That's just an option.
Sure. Oh, okay, that's fair then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I am many things, but one of them is not stubborn. I am diplomatic as much as I can be. As long as we are making progress, so like progressivism in the US is like a great change. I'm never going to turn around and say that they're not radical enough, because given what America has been for the past since its inception,
yeah,
it's a fucking change.
Yeah, I agree completely. I'm really surprised we're talking about UBI at this point in my life. I thought that would be another like 20 years minimum. Like, holy moly! Like,
yeah, you're just sat there collecting your your first retirement check, and you're just like, wait, we're getting free money now?
Yeah.
What was the but yeah, like my whole even when I was working for like the Anarchist Federation and I was like doing public speaking and I was like teaching people about politics and stuff like that in high schools, my whole thing wasn't to try and convince people to become anarchist, because that would have been jarring. But I think for me, like trying to convince people or trying to change their perception in a way, like that's one thing that like people like Alexander Ocasio-Cortez and like Bernie Sanders and like even like Tulsi Gabbard and stuff like that do exceptionally well. Like they're very good. They're rhetorically extremely clever. They know how to like take a loaded question from the right wing and turn it into a reason why you should vote for the left.
Oh yeah, oh my god. Looking at Andrew Yang turning around stuff in Fox News is fantastic as well, yeah.
Yeah. Andrew Yang is still like a centre-right conservative, but for the most part, like the more voices in the Democratic Party, because like I remember like a Republican Party that was extremely divided. Yeah, I'm not free market in the slightest.
Yeah, no, that's why I said I was clarifying that for him. He means anarcho in the sense like low government, but like high worker support. Yeah.
So I was talking about this to a friend of mine. Like, I think there's a severe difference between economic authoritarian and like socially authoritarian.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I'm socially very libertarian.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care who you marry. You can go marry a tree if you want. I don't care.
Exactly. Yeah.
But if you want to like pay people slave wages, get the fuck out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I agree completely. You mirror my my thoughts on economics, and so yeah, like I generally like socially I'm very liberal, and yeah, economically, oh my god. Dude, wait, hold on. Since you brought, oh, listen, Conger, here's a nice meme for you. Since we both went to the same high school. Philosophically, if something is weird, you shouldn't, just because something is weird, you shouldn't make it illegal. Example, gay marriage. Why was it illegal? Because the Bible doesn't like it. But we have separation of church and state, right? Well, it's not natural. Who cares? All right, nice meme. Sorry. Anyway, continue.
Well, to the whole not natural, I can point to like the.
You can point to anything. It doesn't matter. That's not an argument. That's literally not an argument. We're not natural. I'm using a computer. Did nature build it? No. Oh my God. Sorry. That's literally not an argument.
I legit remember like someone said like whilst on a flight, someone turned around and said gay marriage is not natural. I'm like, you're flying. You're
Nice meme.
Oh god, like I think the most surreal moment in my life was like when I was a kid. Something in my head clicked whilst I was on a plane. They had like given me my lunches and everything, and it was chicken. I am eating a bird whilst I am flying.
Nice. Yeah,
that was the moment that opened my eyes, bro.
Yeah, yeah, you had your awakening experience way earlier than I did. Like I didn't start getting woke until maybe like freshman year of college. Yeah, dude, Jesus Christ. Growing up with a in a religious household is kind of cancer usually. Yeah, unlucky. And growing up in a socially conservative household is very, very unfortunate. Like, if someone tells me they're socially conservative in America, I don't even want to try to change their mind. That's in America, that's insanity. That's almost like saying you're socially conservative in, like, a Middle Eastern country. Like, oh my god. Like, I think, do you watch Destiny at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, Destiny says this a lot. He says, you know, if, like, Republicans in America didn't hate brown people, they'd get so many Muslim votes because, like, hardcore Christians and hardcore Muslims have, like, some of the same values. They hate women, they hate abortion, they want, like, people to go to church, and they hate immigration. Like, everyone would get on board with that, but they hate brown people, so unlucky.
Yeah. And the, like I'm a Reformed Catholic. Like I come from like the Reformed Catholic Church. I'm still a practicing Catholic, and it's interesting to me, and it makes absolutely no. Also simultaneously makes no sense for why like any Christian would be like right wing in the slightest. Like liberal, like centrist, I can understand, but conservative. I mean, Jesus hung around with prostitutes.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, no, but see, the problem I have with that though is when they say Jesus hung around with prostitutes, it's the same as saying, well, like masturbation is like kind of fine now in our society. We're still acknowledging that's a sin. We're just saying it's less frowned upon or it's less of a big deal. Like that's the problem I have with it. It's like that's kind of the problem I have with Christianity also. It's like, oh, well, we'll just let them do what they want, right? But you're still acknowledging that's a sin, though. Like, yeah, it's like, well, no, that's like, you're still saying it's bad, but, like, we'll let it happen. That's not exactly, like, that's not a good social... I mean, I guess it's better than, it's bad so we'll kill them, but I still have a problem with, like, still looking down on someone for doing something either morally neutral or morally good.
Yeah. So, like, one of the arguments that I used to like swing like a very close friend of mine that used to be like very socially conservative, and it was for religious reasons, is I said, so we're all made in God's image, right? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, at least sentimentally, we've got like an aspect of God within all of us, no matter what, right? He said, yeah. I was like, so why would you use your fragment of God to judge another one of God's creations?
Oh, nice. I mean,
because what that essentially is blasphemy, which is also a sin.
oh yeah, true. Yeah. Judging people, only God can judge people. Well, then I would just go back and I would just turn around and tell you, well, explain the existence of like literal judges, right?
Yeah.
Um.
I mean, well, in the UK, like we've managed to like fucking like in a weird way, like managed to like justify that because like all the all the supreme judges, like court judges and stuff like that, are all appointed by the crown, and who appoints?
Oh, and who appoints the crown is God. Nice meme. Okay, yeah, nice. um.
But the crown is part of the Anglican Church, which is probably the worst church on the face of the planet to be part of.
Oh yeah. Oh god. Yeah. I get very mad that Protestants created America. Like, oh my god. Like, socially, Jesus Christ, Protestants are a nice meme. Oh, and by the way, I hate all religions, not just Protestantism or other religions. I'm just focusing on Protestantism right now. So don't call me what do we call people who hate? Oh, don't call me like an Islamophobe, a Christianphobe, or whatever. I just hate all religions. Yeah. All right, sorry, qualifying that statement.
I mean, like I said, I'm like a devout Catholic, but I also used to be a fucking anti-theist, so I can totally understand.
Yeah.
I understand all the memes around it and everything.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with faith. I'm just not fine with organized religion. And I'm also not fine with the idea of an infallible idea. Those are the only big complaints I have about it.
So like there was a girl, there is a girl in my church, and she's transgender. She did it. Her parents are like extremely conservative.
Oh, nice.
But they said that they were just liberal enough to choose her own church, which was a massive flaw on their part, because she chose ours. We knew that she was not going to be accepted like by her parents. So one of the things that we do anytime like someone says, "Oh, I'm trans," or "I'm gay," or "I'm bi," or whatever, we basically just get everyone to clap. As soon as they say it, we just all clap, because they need to feel acceptance somewhere. And I'd rather that it was at church rather than being belittled and bullied and even beaten up at home. I'd rather that they felt like they had somewhere to come if they were ever being belittled or bullied by their parents.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's good.
Some churches are a good place for that, as long as their heart's in the right place, which not many are, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, again, like the only problem I would say is like Catholic Church still like would say it's a sin, but like we still accept them for them as a sinners. But yeah, no, that's good. That's good what you did. I agree with that completely. Yeah, for sure.
One of the things that the left really needs to understand, like just in general, is like much like what you said. Like a lot of people need to take the view of what you just said, is that you don't like organized religion, but you understand and you respect someone's faith.
Oh yeah, I agree. I'm not attacking the person. I will never say I hate Islam, therefore people who follow Islam are bad. I will never say that. Like when I think Penn and Teller say it really well. Like we're attacking the religion, we're not attacking the person. Like Muslim people are some of the nicest people you'll ever meet. They're some of the most hospitable people you will ever meet in your life. They will invite, like they're bound by tradition to invite you to dinner, and like whatnot. It's fantastic. I tutor as my job right now. To non-native speakers, so I speak to a lot of people from Saudi Arabia. Also, I think Bangladesh is also, Bangladesh is majority Muslim. A lot of Middle Eastern countries, and they are some of the nicest people. They ask me so many questions about like America, and like we get along very well. I don't hate Muslim people. I just hate the religion. Like there's a clear difference between attacking the religion and attacking the people. So like whenever, like if a liberal ever tells me, oh, like he's anti-religion, must be a Trump supporter or something like that, I will get so mad. Oh my god, yeah, like, or like, oh, you're contributing to Islamophobia. Like, no, I don't hate the people. I'm not advocating for a ban on Muslims because I think the religion creates terrorists. You're an idiot. No, I just think that the religion is bad, but the people are perfectly fine, my dude. Yeah.
I would argue more that like bombing those countries breeds terrorists.
Yes. Oh yeah, I agree completely.
Yeah.
Or not
Like,
having money, also like creating poverty due to invading and creating desperation of like, hey, we'll take care of your family if you blow up a few Americans that already screwed you over. I'm not saying everyone, or I'm not even saying a majority of people will take you up on that offer, but some people will, and some people have taken you up on that offer. So maybe helping the country that is filled with terrorists instead of killing everyone indiscriminately, probably a good idea. Yeah, I can probably get behind that idea for sure.
yeah, and I think like I said that to like a conservative once. I was like, your party like supported like airstrikes and like bombing these people's country.
I mean, to be fair,
Anyway,
both parties kind of supported
yeah,
it.
well,
To be
yeah,
honest, in America, yeah, kind of both parties
yeah.
did, but yeah.
I'm talking about conservatives specifically.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
But like to me it seems like a complete double standard. You bomb their country to try and save them. You blow up their house. They blow up their businesses. You blow up all their infrastructure, and yet you don't let them into your country to try and live a life.
Just literally
You just
show them the last season of Game of Thrones, and like this is analogous to like this is the perfect comparison. Like we're liberating you, or like, are you sure about that? It looked like you kind of wait. Hey, Game of Thrones spoilers. Turn away in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Are you sure you're liberating us? It kind of just seemed like you burned down the whole place and killed citizens and soldiers that were giving up indiscriminately, and you kind of like killed a lot of people, and like you burned down the palace or the main stronghold, I guess. So like, I don't quite think you liberated us. Like the same thing. Like, I mean, you killed some
like
terrorists, but you also like. In an effort to kill terrorists, you blew up a wedding and killed like one terrorist and like 70 civilians. I don't quite think that's good. I'm not sure though. Yeah.
I also like one of the things that Frankie Boyle, who's a comedian here, said is that to call it a war implies that both sides have an equal chance of winning. You never hear of America invading like Iraq or something, and like their helicopter being shot down by a
This
shepherd.
guy, I know him. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you never hear of like a helicopter being shot down by a shepherd.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
in the
but
middle of Iraq.
yeah, I kind of agree. Well, I somewhat agree with that. I think that's an oversimplification for sure. But I mean, like the same thing happened when the Soviet Union was invading the Middle East. Like we literally like had to arm like shepherds with Stinger missiles because otherwise they had no chance, dude. Like they were literally like committing acts of terror against like against shepherds. Like this is disgusting. This is a massacre. And then when America does it, we're fighting terrorism. Like what? Yeah.
Yeah, you're fighting the shepherds that your ancestors armed?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean yeah, I don't know. Like we have a very this is one of the few things I will say militarily that I have a mild opinion about is like America has a big tendency of like it like doing the right thing I don't know generally. Sometimes doing the right thing but then saying, "All right, Kay, we did the right thing, Kay. We're not going to follow up by." It's like, wait a second, like, we're in complete shambles right now. Can we have protection for like a year or two? Nope, we did our mission. Okay, bye. Enjoy freedom and liberty. Then 10 years later, oh, we screwed up. We need to instill another dictator that agrees with us. Like, wait, what? Why didn't we just like spend another year or two in Iraq? Wait, what are you doing? Or like, Syria or whatnot. Like, what?
And then then America starts to criticize China for going into these countries that they bombed and destroyed all their infrastructure, and then America starts shouting at China for building infrastructure.
Yeah, it's like China's building infrastructure so they can align more closely with China's like, that's what we're doing. Then why don't we do it? It's like, no, like China shouldn't help them. Then who should help them?
No one.
Maybe the United Kingdom is like, they didn't blow up their stuff, dude. Well, not communists. Okay, nice meme. All right, great. Like, you take what you can get at some point. Like, that's like, oh god, dude, nice meme. Yeah. We should nuke them all. I mean, that's a fair assessment. As a Catholic, I agree with that. Or you agree with that completely, right, Conger? The literal story of Abraham asking God, like, hey, I know you want to kill this whole city, but what if there's 70 good people? All right, we won't kill them if there's 70. And then it goes all the way down to 5. It's like, what if there's 5 good people in that city? All right, we won't slaughter the city if there's 5 good people. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Let's just... And so, if I was an extreme utilitarian, I would say, yes, obviously, the most efficient way to solve the Middle East would be just nuking it and creating a complete desolate wasteland. Yeah, I agree with that. Yes, that would be the most efficient way. But probably not the most moral way. I'm not sure.
No.
Or sorry, effective, not efficient. Effective. Yeah.
Yeah. It's effective, not.
Yeah. No. I'm sorry. I meant effective.
I was about to say like efficiency doesn't really.
Yeah. No. I meant the other way. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. I meant the most effective way is just blowing everything up. That's why I give the extreme example of effectiveness versus efficiency. It's like, what's the most effective way of like solving this cold? It's like, we'll probably give them, like, antivirals, right? No, actually, the most effective way of solving the cold is shooting them. That's the most effective way. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. So, like, that's the same thing. It's like, what's the most effective way of creating peace in the Middle East? Nuking it all. All right, nice.
I mean...
More crusades, nice.
Like, one of the biggest double standards that I actually know about is, like... and it's a running joke in this country, is that Prince Harry is he's a gunner in the army, like in for helicopters and stuff like that. He got sent to Syria, and I was like, yeah, that's how you spread democracy and freedom. You have a prince shooting at them from a helicopter.
Holy moly.
Not to mention Prince Harry is ginger. That's exactly what the Middle East needs more of.
Nice.
Ginger people.
Did you hear, I forget who said this. I genuinely forget. But there was something like, it was advocating for torture, and they said something along the lines of, like, when terrorists get captured, they just get humiliated. They just get, like, stripped down naked and, like, women beat them. And then the analogy was, by the way, if I was a prisoner of war, I would love that. I would much rather that than actually being tortured. I'm like, is this actually an argument I'm hearing? Like, what am I listening to?
I'm not even sure if that is a valid argument.
Oh, no, it's not. No, that's definitely not an argument. Like, like, if you boil down the argument, it's literally saying, well, there's worse things. This isn't the worst thing in the world. Like, I don't quite think that's an argument. I'm not sure, though.
Like, legit, like, one of the if you want to, like, in the case of, like, Syria, if you want to, like, stop, like, ISIS from, like, settling in Syria or something like that and, like, taking over and everything, like, the easiest thing you can do is take a note out of, like, the Rebels book. Because what the rebels in, like, Rojava and, like, the northern part of Syria have done is they basically take all their women soldiers and they line them up on the southern.
Yeah, true. Because ISIS believes that if they're killed by a soldier or by a female soldier, they'll go to hell. Yeah, nice meme. Yeah. I mean, hey, listen, I can exploit religion just as easily. We take those.
Yeah. And I'm just sort of like, if only America would do that.
Dude. I mean,
like, that is the only interventionism I think I would support. Is just having an all-female military just like going into Syria.
Dude, listen, listen, Trump could sell that so well. Also, you know how he sells it is like, we'll have an all-female military, and everyone just like looks around like, what the hell? It's like, it'll be really hot, and everyone just stands up and cheers. Oh my god, dude. Oh, and then he says, like, listen, as president of the United States, every officer will have the right to go into the women's dressing room without warning, like I did in the American pageants. Oh my god, dude. Jesus. Hey, how do you feel about the transgender ban on military? Really good idea, right?
It's a really shit idea.
No, I mean, don't you want to limit your military capacity? Dude, I had this argument with someone. I was doing a debate day, and a Russian guy came in, and he said, I don't want gays in my military. I'm like, why? They're going to kill people just as well as straight men. What are you talking about, dude? Like,
the only difference is they're going to be better dressed.
Yeah. Exactly. They're gonna put like a nice bow on their gun, but they're gonna kill people just as well as anyone else, my dude. Like, what are you talking about? Like, gee, like, oh my god, that triggered me so much. Like, especially for the Air Force, like, unless you can make an argument that, like, gay people, like, somehow genetically with more estrogen in their system, like, are more susceptible to, like, low air pressure or something than straight men or something ridiculous like that. But then you just say, well, what about drone pilots? Like, what are you talking about, dude? Oh my god. I don't understand how we do a transgender. Oh, wait, Conger, you're in the Air Force. Why is there a transgender ban? How? Please explain to me why there's a transgender ban. That's the most stupid thing I've heard in my life. Jesus Christ, sorry. But also culturally...
One person to that's actually really
then we change. Sorry, I need to interrupt you for a second. Then we change the culture. What do you mean culturally they will be rejected? You know what else would be culturally rejected? Black soldiers. Yeah, those were culturally rejected, right? When black soldiers fought in the Civil War and the American Revolution, and pretty much every war America has had, and by pretty much I mean literally every war America has fought, even though there was segregation until the 1960s, black people fought in every single war. There was a lot of rejection, right? And they killed people just as well as anyone else. Nice meme. Okay, sorry.
Also, Kevin, like that's one person that's like really good at talking about like the trans ban and stuff like that. Is a streamer on here called Izzy Bear. Actually, speaking of which, she just started streaming. Speak of the devil, and she shall appear. She's a veteran. A veteran of the. I think she was in Iraq and Afghanistan. And she is also a chair on one of the largest American transgender veteran charities in America. Like her whole thing is like the whole thing about like the military paying for like their top and bottom surgery, like for every single trans person, was still less than the amount that they would have spent on like Viagra.
Oh yeah, that's a nice meme also. Yeah. I don't even know if like the military should spend for gender reassignment surgery, but like at least let them fight. What are you talking about, dude? But yeah, no, I'm not even I'm uncertain about gender reassignment surgery being paid for by the military, but like still like after you've had it, it's insanity to like not accept people in the military.
So let me put this in a perspective that you might understand. So if you have a transgender person that hasn't received like top or bottom surgery, and they are sent off to war, they will still experience gender dysphoria.
Sure, I agree.
They and they're also in the Middle East because it's America. You're always going to be in the Middle East. You're always and they have a gun in their hand.
Sure. Yes, I see where this is going. Yes, okay. Fantastic. Alright, fair enough then. But I mean...
The cost to bring them back is more than what it would cost to just pay for their gender reassignment surgery so they didn't kill themselves.
To be 100% fair on that, though, wouldn't we pay for their gender reassignment surgery before we send them out to war, I guess? Or something like that?
That would be the ideal.
Oh, okay, yeah, great. Alright, fantastic, I agree with you.
Last I checked, there aren't that many fucking surgeries.
Oh, yeah, and then I just realized, nice meme. Alright, we're in the middle of, like, a demilitarized zone. Alright, do the surgery, let's... Yeah, alright, nice. Alright, good. 1 second, it doesn't matter if they are trans or not. What matters is if soldiers think trans are bad. Okay, so either A, we can combat that. So wait, 3 things. 1, we already had trans people in our military, perfectly fine. Yeah, we just didn't know. B, more importantly, we can guide the discussion so soldiers can think they're perfectly fine. And guess what? Soldiers, I bet, didn't want women in their military at first, but then we just opened up 50% of the population. Well, probably less because women are less predisposed to wanting to be in the military than men, probably. But we what's it called? We opened up, we changed the culture around soldiers, so they accepted women soldiers. And C, our president is doing a terrific job of aiming public discourse to target trans people so that the military also dislikes trans people. If the president actually cared about trans people and changed public discourse, it'd be perfectly fine. Like, guiding public opinion and public discourse is one of the most important jobs of the president. If he guides public discourse and tells his generals, hey, you should probably start campaigning to accept trans people, and like for other things as well, like, hey, probably if there's women, there's going to be probably more sexual harassment in the military. We should probably do something about that. And like, what, you're not going to waste the minimal amount of money it takes to like make like anti-sexual harassment campaigns? Are you kidding me? Yeah. Nice meme, dude. Or like, for example, also, we accept obese people in the military. Are you telling me obese people are less frowned upon and more efficient killing machines than normal trans people or fit trans people? Is this a joke? Am I literally hearing this? And D, if like, no, this is step E, point E, sorry, and point E, are you telling me that people dislike trans people so much that they can't do an administrative job without like everyone else being 1,000,000% less efficient because there's a trans person like operating a UAV or something? Are you kidding me? Are you serious? And then what? We should ban gay people also because if someone hears a feminine accent on a UAV, like, hey guys, there's two terrorists to your northeast at 2 clicks away, you're gonna be like, oh well, mission's canceled, boys. I guess a gay person is operating the radio. Are you kidding me? Is this a joke? Is this an actual argument I'm hearing? Okay, sorry, I'm done. I'm sorry, I'm triggered. Wait. He made another comment and then I'm done. What is harder, changing 4 million active duty mines or changing 3,000? First of all, the numbers are 10,000. Second of all, you don't need to change every single opinion. You just need to change the opinion of the division. Do you literally think every person is going to be like, if someone hears about, oh, they screwed up, like, some Texas division, someone in the Middle East is going to fight less efficiently to such a noticeable degree that, like, it's going to, decrease the KDA of the military by, like, 10%? Is this a joke? Are you kidding me? This doesn't happen. This is the real world. This literally doesn't happen. If I hear that if I'm working at McDonald's and I hear a McDonald's branch did something I disagree with, I'm not going to work, like, so inefficiently, and my division isn't going to work so inefficiently. And this is life and death also. I'm not sitting there thinking like, oh, I better I'm not gonna sit there behind a rifle and think, oh well, there's gay people in the military, I really don't want to be here. Like, this isn't a thing. This doesn't happen. This doesn't happen. You're trolling me. You're being so disingenuous. This is a troll. Alright, okay, sorry, I'm really done. I'm done reading anything about trans in the military. I'm done. Okay, sorry.
Like, it makes absolutely no sense. If the thing is like, if you look at like the USSR, for example, they accepted women into their military ranks way quicker than America did, or Britain.
Yeah.
And why was that? Because they knew there was a pretty good chance they were going to get invaded from somewhere.
Yeah.
And they needed more bodies.
True.
Basically.
Yeah.
They needed more bodies to protect themselves. And you can't just like lower the age of like recruitment for like literal children.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can, but probably not a good idea.
No, not exactly. I mean, children are not efficient soldiers.
I mean, yeah.
Typically speaking.
I mean, but it's not even the argument of efficiency. It's just the argument of effectiveness, right? Like, if we double the pool of people we can take into the military, probably a good idea. Yeah. So I don't know. Oh, hey, and by the way, you know who really doesn't like discrimination against trans people? 3 million people in the military. Nice meme. Also, sorry, one last thing. You're saying it's not about convincing the country, it's about convincing 3 million people. You know what number is less than 300 million? 3 million. Wow. Sorry. Okay, we're done here. Wait, and sorry, one last thing. And your job is PSYOPs! Your literal job entails changing opinions. What do you mean? Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm really done. Can we please, God, change the subject right now to literally anything I'm less passionate about or equally passionate about? Please just bring up anything, dude.
But yeah, like I was like I was saying before, is like, if I can change minds to like a center left or a left wing or a far left, I'm happy.
I agree. Yeah, yeah. No, I agree completely with that, and that's like that's something really important that I mean every party needs to. I dude, honestly, I think like far right people understand this a lot more than anyone in the left. Is like far right like understand like there's literal like posts that what's it called that I was about to say National Socialist. What the hell are they? Basically National Socialist.
Alt-righters?
Yeah, all right. White
Yeah.
supremacists. There we go. Or yeah, they say like, yeah, literally, we can't use this language. Just use different language so we can bring more people to at least be like sympathizers of us or something. Like that's literally their mission. Is like we're obviously not going to convince anyone of our actual beliefs. Let's just kind of bring people to our side, or at least get them to not think we're bad or away from like the opposite of our side. Like people understand that. In the left, I feel like only Andrew Yang and well, recently now a lot more Democrats are understanding of this. But like Andrew Yang understand this a lot. Like my job going to Fox News isn't so I can convince people to not be Republican. It's just to convince people that, hey, Democrats aren't bad. Here are some ideas. Like, you hear almost every Republican that criticizes Andrew Yang, they say something along the lines of, you know, Andrew Yang is a good person, and like he like actually understands that you should discuss with both parties. And even though I disagree with him, I think he's a good person. And
Yeah.
I'm 100% sure Andrew Yang is disgusted by Fox News and the people on the right. I'm convinced of this. But like you hear that compared to like, oh, Obama's the devil, even though like everything Obama did, Trump did like 10x worse. But yeah, I don't know. Nice meme.
So Kevin, one person that you would probably enjoy talking to is a friend of mine called Caleb.
Sure.
He is an ex-alt-writer.
Oh,
He
wow.
was, yeah, he was sucked into that. And he talks about the alt-right pipeline,
Hmm.
or what some people on the on the left briefly called
The
the
rabbit hole.
Pewdie pipeline.
Oh, the
The
PewDiePie
Pewdie
play.
pipeline.
Interesting.
Because because what they would do is they would change the tag, like alt writers would change their tags and everything so that they would seem more related to like what PewDiePie was talking about. So like Stefan Molyneux and stuff like
Hmm.
that,
Yep.
people like
Yeah.
him, like self-help channels and everything. And like once people started to get into Stefan Molyneux, they would then be like recommended another channel, which was more far left, far
Mhm.
right, and
Yeah.
it would just keep going and going and going and going.
Yeah.
And he almost got to the epitome where, if he kept going, he would have turned into the Christchurch Shore.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's
I
how
mean,
bad.
that's literally the perp. Like that's taking it to the extreme. That's literally like what
Yeah.
Ben Shapiro and most people on PragerU are trying to advocate for. Like the only person that like I think is just an idiot and like, or at least isn't fully convinced of this is what's that guy who's like he's not like a conservative. He's a traditional liberal or whatever it's called.
You talk about Jordan Peterson.
No, not Joe. God, I hate Jordan Peterson. No, he's Canadian. Oh, he's also Canadian. Yeah. He like has a more Midwestern homey feel, to him. Okay, I need to.
Oh God.
Sorry, I need to go to the other screen and look up his name real quick. 1 second, my dudes. Because one of my friends is really into him. No. I also critiqued one of his videos. Is it this? Oh yeah, Ben Shapiro getting destroyed on British television was, oh god, that was so good. Oh hey, how do you feel about this article by Mr. Shapiro? Hold on, while you can discuss this while I'm looking for this. If you look on my stream, you'll notice the tagline militant gay English on the rise. So you can discuss that while I'm looking for this guy's name.
I think that is kind of like, I mean, going back to the whole thing of like Ben Shapiro like saying, "Oh, you're just doing all this shit for like ad money," and I'm like, "You're talking on the BBC. The BBC's not even allowed to like host ads. They are literally run by the government. That they get all their funding from the government. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You would
Dave
think
Rubin.
that
Dave
someone-
Rubin. Dave Rubin. Dave Rubin.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, we found him.
Dave Rubin also, but like fucking makes me like.
Oh no, I disagree with him completely, but I don't think he's like a literal white nationalist. I just think he's just like, hey guys, like we're in the marketplace of ideas, and like I'm just really vibing with some like freedom of speech, you know? Like yeah, man. Like what?
I think the whole idea that sunlight is the best disinfectant is like the worst idea to ever enter like public discourse, because when like this idea of like sunlight is the best disinfectant is like, do you really think that fascists and like Nazis are just going to like turn around and say we should kill all Jewish people?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, do you really think they're gonna like phrase it exactly like that? Like they're going to like in the words of Mary Black, who's like a member of like the Houses of Commons, she said that is that fascism does not come in with a stomping boot. It comes in and like offers to be your friend. It offers to give you a good job. It offers to clean up the streets and everything.
Hey, you know what else does that? It starts with a C, and it's not communism.
Capitalism.
Oh no, close. Cult? It's a cult.
Yeah, a cult.
It's a cult.
Yeah, a cult. It's a cult. And all it asks for is your everlasting obedience.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's exactly what the alt-right does.
Like this is literally when I hear a stupid argument, this is literally all I do. I just take their argument to like this is literally what Destiny does also. They just take it to an extreme. And they're like, all right, so you believe that like what was an argument I did recently? I debated against gambling and what was oh yeah. So they said something along the lines of I don't remember. I don't remember. All right, I'm just gonna make up an example because my brain isn't working right now. But let's say oh yeah, like simply for abortion. It's really easy for abortion. That makes what's it called? That makes right to life people really uncomfortable. You say, all right, so you believe abortion should be a crime? Yes. And you believe that abortion is murder? Yes. Okay. What's the prison sentence for the woman? What's the prison sentence for the woman? What do you mean? It's like, well, abortion is murder, right? Yeah. And it should be a crime, right? Yeah. It's like, so what's the jail time for a mother getting an abortion? It's like, wait, it's murder, right? So it should be a life sentence, right? Like, and that makes people real uncomfortable. And I mean, you can do the same thing with white nationalists. Is just like, all right, so we don't like immigrants, right? It's like, yeah. It's like, why? Because they bring crime. Yeah. Why? Because they're poor. It's like, yeah, but everyone else is poor. It's like, no. I mean, white people usually. Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, what? White people are usually like. So wait, so you're saying poor black people? Yeah. It's like, so wait. You're saying poor black people are commit more crime than poor white people? Yeah, which is a lie, by the way. Yeah. It's like, why? Because, and then they use the term. Oh, it's their culture. If I ever hear culture, I saw an interview with Ben Shapiro, or an interview from what the hell is his name? David.
David Rubin?
No. He's a liberal. David Pacman. David Pacman. Yeah.
Yeah, David Pacman.
Yeah. With Ben Shapiro, and the immediate first question for a gun debate, and the immediate first question was. So, yeah, you think, like, we should prevent gun deaths, right? Like, we can find this common ground. Yeah. And then he's like, all right, so what's the biggest problem? I think it's the problem of culture. Immediately turn the interview off. Nice meme. Yeah, so the dog whistle for I hate black people is their culture is different. That's the dog whistle to it. So they say it's their culture. It's like, what is it about their culture? And then you just get them to admit it's genetics. Like, so we hate black people because of genetics, right? It's like, so... You're in favor of just breeding out black people. We just kick them out of America. Like, all right, and what if they don't want to go? It's like, what do you mean? It's like, what if they don't want to go? It's like, well, we get police to to round them up into ghettos and then bus them on trains out of the country. It's like, this sounds very familiar.
This is giving me 1940
Yeah,
vibes.
yeah, I'm like, interesting. It's like, but that would never happen in America. I'm like, no. We just put children in cages and then bus them out to Mexico. Nothing of the sort. Yeah.
It's not like we put them in cages and occasionally not refuse to feed them.
Yeah, nice. 9 months of jail time? Wait, Conger, if you want to debate abortion, I'll massacre you on abortion because I actually have real arguments. Please don't debate me on abortion. So yeah, sorry.
Centrism is a meme. Centrism is a meme. Look,
is centrism really a meme? This is an interesting argument to me. Centrism in what sense? Oh, like in every sense, or what?
Right. Centrism is a meme.
Oh, you're responding to Zach. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So why is centrism a meme? Talk to me about it.
It's like saying, oh, all journalists have to be unbiased.
Well, all right, yeah, sure, okay. Yeah. Hit me up with this, yeah.
Because regardless of, if you ask almost any like self-described centrist, a bunch of like left and right questions, like even just center left and center right questions, they're going to lean much more in favor of like one or the other.
Yeah.
And that's not centrism. By that point, you're just center left or center right.
Yeah, sure.
No one sets that line.
I mean, yeah, that's why, like, I think, especially as a journalist, I think words are very important and descriptive words are very important, such as adjectives. So I think labels, especially, are very important, for the most part. Although they can be damaging in some cases, such as in sexual identification. But generally, labels are very important and useful. So I would just argue like centrism, for the most part, is mislabeling. So I say generally you would consider me a liberal in America. However, like, for example, economically, I'm probably a little bit less liberal than socially, for example, and stuff like that. Or something like I'm almost mildly conservative. I would say I'm almost centrist for, like, gun rights, depending on,
well,
like...
even that's not even the case, because, so, like, the libertarian left, like, the left libertarians, like, we generally are in favor of, like, gun rights. We're generally in favor of gun rights. Like, if you go far enough to... In the words of a guy...
Dependent... yeah.
And,
well, here, I would just let me double answer both. I would just say, like, maybe we can just define like, I think overall saying you're a centrist is idiotic and like doesn't mean anything, and we should ban like vacuous non-meaning words, or like not use them, rather not ban them. But like, so I would say like maybe on an issue you can be centrist. So like if you say I both believe in like left policies and right policies, I wouldn't call you, maybe an independent, yeah, that's a nice meme, but I wouldn't call you a centrist. I would just say, like, on certain policies you're left, on certain policies you're right. And maybe on certain policies you could be centrist, and, like, that's fine. Maybe that. But, yeah.
I also think that the popularization of centrism, or centrist as like an actual, like, label people give themselves, kind of goes into this whole kind of thing of, like, we have, most people like live in a country where like you have like the Democrats on the left and the Republicans on the right, and we don't have like the four quadrant kind of like the two axis political compass.
Yeah, that
we don't
thing.
Think of it in that sense. So we think like. We hear people saying all the time, like, "Oh, I'm I'm economically left wing, but I'm like socially right wing."
Mm-hmm.
That makes no sense.
Jesus, I would. Interesting. Yeah.
So, when it comes down to it, like, when someone says they're a centrist, to like someone who's actually studied politics like for a majority of their life, it means almost nothing.
Oh, okay, yeah, basically. Okay, so we'll just say centrist is vacuous and nice meme. Okay, yeah. Great. Fantastic. I agree with you on that. Nice.
it's vacuous, and that at some points, some people who call themselves centrists can be extraordinarily arrogant.
Yeah.
Because they think that, I'm a fence sitter. I know all this. I know all the answers. I know exactly what you're going to say. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Sit down.
Yeah, no, I mean, but that's kind of why I like labels, is because if you have a really accurate and agreed upon label, then people can kind of get an idea of where you're coming from. So if I just straight told someone I'm a liberal, they just roll their eyes and be like, yeah, I know, like, but if I said, like, I'm economically liberal, they're like, all right, I kind of, like, get, like, what you mean on those senses. But, like, I'm also, like, for gun rights, I'm kind of, like, centrist to slightly conservative, and they'd be like, oh, okay, like, that's fair. But, yeah, no, that's why I say, like, generalizing with labels is pretty efficient and pretty good, yeah.
I mean, even then, like you can in theory you can be like a center left, like economically center left, and like really libertarian.
Mm-hmm.
And we call those people civil libertarians.
We call those people illogical because whenever they're asked about borders, they can't give a good answer.
Yeah, because they don't know whether they're in favor of open borders or they're in favor of closed.
I've only met one libertarian that's in favor of open borders and libertarian ideas. But good for him.
You've only met one libertarian that's in favor of open borders.
Yeah.
That's me.
Oh, nice. Okay, I met two
Yeah.
libertarian. Nice. Yeah. Can you give me a TLDR of what libertarians believe in? Because I was pretty much told that libertarians are just Republicans who like weed.
Well, in America that is true.
Mm-hmm.
Because your brand of libertarian comes from the whole Milton Friedman school and like Murray Rothbard, of like free market, and like they're basically just like Republicans who like weed and are okay with some gay things. But
Wait, hello?
the thing with like right-wing libertarians is like one of the things that like the left will often say is that right-wing libertarians are often quite easy to be like roped into like fascist things.
Yeah.
And the reason being is like fascists will promise them a free market, and the
free market. I mean, yeah, that's also kind of a problem I have with libertarians, is like just freedom of everything, man. Like freedom of speech, like, yeah, we just need to go back to the Constitution, just like freedom of everything. I'm like, I don't know about that one, but yeah. Libertarians equals Republicans who like weed and guns. Wait, there's Republicans that dislike guns? What do you mean? What?
I thought that was like...
I was like, that's literally like saying... What? But I am 70% conservative and 30% liberal. Then you know how I would label you? As 70% conservative and 30% liberal. Like, did you know you can use more than like 3 words to label someone's political views? It's pretty cool, actually. What?
That's like the whole thing is like
it's racist, God.
Like with libertarianism as like a whole, like where the actual term came from, libertarian actually like goes back, like I'd say even just it goes like historically, it goes back further back than just like the French Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
And it always meant like against the status quo.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, even then, the status quo was like right-wing kind of fundamentalism. Our right-wing nowadays is still capitalism. We still have fundamentalists, but...
I need a pause. Oh my god, someone just got brainwashed. I'm so triggered, and I know this is because your father told you this. Either your father or Donald Trump. Oh my god. Liberal, yes. Liberal means left, as in liberal, as in socially liberal, as in you can do whatever you want, as in you can be gay and not get persecuted by your government. Yes, that's what liberal means. Liberal still means something. Yes, nice meme. And just because liberal and left are synonymous, because left people are generally liberal, means that it still has holy moly, it still has a meaning, not just because of that. However, there are left people that aren't liberal, such as Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden are probably, I probably wouldn't label them as mostly liberal, especially on social issues. Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden are definitely, especially Joe Biden, are definitely not socially liberal. However, they are still considered left or Democrat for some reason, but liberal always meant freedom. Yes, that's literally what it means. Liberal means freedom. Economically, that means freedom. What does freedom mean in this case? It means the freedom not get screwed over by a business. Oh my god, nice meme. Anyway, sorry.
And also like in the UK.
Prager, Utah. Oh wait, yeah, I saw the video. I never watched it though. Yeah, sorry.
Like in the UK and like in Europe and stuff like that, whenever we hear liberal, we actually unironically think of centrist, because like that's what liberal like kind of meant. Because it goes back to like David Hume and like John Locke and John Hobbes and everything. Like the whole moral basis of liberalism was basically like you had like the communists on one side and the like pro-capitalists on the other side, but you had no one in the middle saying,
yeah, so you just like define them as liberal. Yeah,
that's a good
yeah. True.
So like liberal just literally meant like listening to both sides and just like piecing together whatever works.
Nice.
Like if like in the UK, like calling yourself a socialist, that's not a bad thing. Like most people like are very well aware of what socialism actually means, because we have an education system that doesn't literally brainwash you with like propaganda from like the
listen, we're not brainwashing people, we're just making them patriotic, man. Come on.
That's what someone who's brainwashed would say.
I know. Oh my god. Yeah, when people tell me like, oh, we need to like unify our country, it's like, all right, great, like there shouldn't be divides. Yeah, I agree with that. What should we unify them under? We should all unify them against immigration. I'm like, what? Like, and then they say like, what should we unify people under? And then they just give me like the most cancerous policies, and they say, well, it's better to agree on like a bad policy than disagree and like get nowhere. I'm like, what? I don't know about this. This isn't League of Legends. It's not like it's better to make a bad play as 5 people than not make a play at all. There's a difference between League of Legends and politics. I'm not sure about that one, though.
Like, the term liberal in the UK is, like, hated, especially by, like, younger people. Which is weird, because in America, like, it's loved by fucking, like, younger people, but that's because, like, that's your version of, like, being, like, a leftist. And the reason being is back in 2014 we had a coalition government between the Liberal Democrats, the Labour Party, and the Conservatives.
Wait, I'm sorry. I need to pause for 1 second. Conger, I think you have a fundamental misunderstanding of how English works. So the term "dough," like as in what Homer Simpson says, was never in the dictionary. But culturally, the word was added to it because a lot of people used it and people understand what it means. And I'm sure a lot of like text speech will be added as well. So when a definition doesn't meet what most people understand it to mean, the definition will most likely change to make it mean what most people understand it to mean, even though that's literally not what it means. And you can see this throughout the history of English. So yes, definitions should and do mimic what people culturally understand. Okay, sorry, continue.
And this is a fact, because if you pick up a dictionary from 1982 and pick up a dictionary from every single year after that to this year and look at a word, the definition does change.
Yeah. Oh yeah, P.S. by the way, 2 people versed in AP style. Yeah, nice meme talking about definitions not mimicking what people colloquially understand. Nice meme.
But yeah.
Or wait, do you use AP style or do you use a different type of style when you write?
I use AP, yeah.
Okay, nice. I didn't know if AP style even was. I thought it might have been only American or something. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
But yeah, like, when the Liberal Democrats, like the quote-unquote centrists, as like they call themselves, were in government, they said, "Oh, we're gonna lower tuition fees." What did they do? they increased tuition fees.
Yeah, nice.
A year. And because the thing with liberals, or rather centrists, is they're really good at telling you what they're against, but not what they're for.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree with you. Yeah. Like, yeah. I mean, I genuinely, I think that's both parties right now. Is both parties are like understand what they're against, but not really what they're for. Like, yeah.
Like, in the case of like that's why I like labels. That's why I like it when people are like just straight up and everything, and just like rather than saying that they're a centrist or like whatever. If someone says they're like a classical liberal, like a Hobbesian liberal.
Can you explain to me what a classical liberal actually means? Because Jesus, whatever that guy is that I told you about earlier did not explain that to me at all. Classical liberal to me meant like more freedom of the press liberal than I'm comfortable with, or more freedom of speech liberal than I'm comfortable with, and that's about it.
Classical liberalism is not a it's not an ideology that actually comes with any policies. That's very much individualistic, but it's a view of viewing politics. So a massive influence on classical liberalism was John Locke and also David Hume. And David Hume basically had the what is and what ought to be principle of there is what is currently going on and what ought to happen to fix it. And the what ought to happen to fix it can either come from the right or it can come from the left. The classical liberals will basically sit there and go, okay, so we know this aspect from the right works, we're going to take that, and we know this aspect from the left works, so we're going to piece it together and we're going to like come to a solid agreement. Problem is, nowadays classical liberals completely miss the point in that, and there's this massive trench between what is and what ought to be, and it's called that's just your opinion. Yes.
Yeah, that I guess like I mean any sane person would say if it works, it works, right? Like I don't. Okay, I guess I'm a classical liberal then. I don't know. Like if you literally tell me like the definition is like so easy as like you take it if it works on the right, or it, like if a right wing person made it and it works, you use it. Like yeah, go for it.
However, the problem with like classical liberalism is it completely forgets the factor that not everything that like there are definitely things you cannot piece together in regards to like right-wing ideology and like left-wing
Yeah,
ideology.
I mean I agree. Like
You
some
cannot,
things are yeah.
There are some things that you just have to be explicit and in your face about it.
Yeah, I mean I agree. Yeah.
And also when it comes to like the whole what is and what ought to be, that's when they start saying, okay, so we have this system that is extremely complex. We can have newspapers that simplify it to the point where there's practically no meat on the bones, like Fox News, and basically lie to people.
Yeah.
Or you can have like aspects of it that put like a little bit more like meat on the bones, like current affairs or like fucking like MSNBC or like CNN and stuff like that. You can't really like piece them together in debates and change public opinion because you're not really changing their opinion. You're just basically saying this works, I guess.
I mean I think it's a really trash argument of like we're not because like I don't know like if this is a thing in other countries, but like I was talking about this 3 days ago where someone like made the argument somewhere along the lines of like if you don't have any way of changing it, then don't argue about it. And like that's kind of the same feeling in America is like they only view public activism or political activism as either literally voting or going outside and picketing. Like this discussion we're having is like this discussion we're having is political activism. It's super political, and like like either A, we change each other's minds, B, we strengthen our own positions, which is both political activism, or C, like someone comes in, watches it, and forms their own opinions. Great, this is all political activism. So yeah, no, I think an argument of like we're not legislators, therefore like there's no point, we can't piece together stuff is a really trash argument. Sorry.
Yeah. Like one of the biggest problems at the moment with like classical liberals and stuff like that is they're they're extremely good at like liberals, like they're the ones that classical liberals are the ones that are always like, oh, sunlight is the best disinfectant.
Mm-hmm.
If you let fascists talk, they'll never win in the public sphere of like public
Yeah,
opinion.
that doesn't happen.
But
not if you lie.
Doesn't
Yeah, I mean, it's literally like just view it as war, right? Like, which side is going to win? The British that like have rules and say you can never shoot officers, or the crazy ass Americans that are like hiding in bushes, shooting officers and like running away like idiots? Like, interesting. Like the same thing is like the liberals are like, we will never lie. We will always present the facts in a genuine way. And then the like far right white nationalists that like say something as crazy as like there's actually more violent crimes in London than there are in New York, and like what happened to like banning guns? Like nothing changed anything. Like are you sure you're representing facts and statistics correctly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's strange because one of the big things that I heavily have a lot of contention with classical liberals on, especially even just social democrats, because like the classical liberalism kind of like seeps into like social democrat discourse quite a lot, is this idea of when we start talking about like rioting, or we start talking about demonstrations and stuff like that. I'm heavily in favor of people expressing their political activism in any way they see fit. People get angry, and sometimes they vote. They spend their entire life voting, and nothing changes.
Yeah, true.
They go to think tanks and they speak their mind. They put forward ideas to like political parties, but they never get noticed. And to be honest, I unapologetically sympathize with people who do go out and riot, because there is everyone has a breaking point.
Sure. So I would just ask you, when do you justify political violence, I guess?
When an individual or a collective group of individuals have tried everything to change the system and nothing has worked.
Okay, so I take issue. So I almost agree with that, but I would add a qualification to that. I would also say, and the problem justifies.
Justify the means.
Or no. Sorry. How do I want to say something along the lines of like. The problem needs to be fixed or something along those lines.
Yeah.
So, for example, like, I'm really mad Eternium Rover is a 1-3, and I've done everything in my power to make it, like, not a 1-3. However, like, if it keeps being a 1-3, I'll be, like, mad, and that's about it. Like, even though I've tried everything, I still wouldn't say, well, I've tried everything, time to riot. Like, yeah. So I would just, like, qualify it with something like that, and I pretty much agree with that. Yeah. And I would even go more extreme. I would even go more fascist and say, yeah, no, like sometimes you can just jump straight to rioting, like no problem, dude.
Like, I think like one thing that I hate, that I find very contentious about the classical liberals and like newspapers here that try to have like a liberal stance on things, is that they end up. They say, oh, both sides are equally bad, and like rioting is like never acceptable and stuff like that. But the thing is like they always say, oh, they damaged private property.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so we damaged private property, but what were we actually rioting about? Whose private property did we damage?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. we were protesting the fact that that bank got a bailout that came from our tax money, and that
And
also
yeah,
came
we
from the
damaged the
welfare state,
bank.
welfare funding.
Yeah.
And whose window got smashed? The bank who got the fucking money.
Yeah, we got evict. Dude, this is so similar. Like two arguments. Argument one is like, well, like we got evicted from our homes, and like the banks got bailouts. Like, what do we do? We should lobby our Congress calmly and like just chill. Maybe protest at least. Maybe that's warranted. And then B is like my feel when the president of the United States is literally advocating for firing people in the NFL who knee during the national anthem. Really nice meme. Very nice. 5 out of 7.
So like when someone like when a group of white people like civil like have a civil like protest, that's fine. But when a group of black people who kneel during the national anthem, that's seen as violent and like it's seen as like deceitful and everything else like that.
Yeah, keep politics out of my consumer products, okay? Keep them out. Well, what happens when a company does something political that negatively affects people? Oh, just have the government take. Or no. Oh, sorry. People will stop buying their products. Like, okay. Once again, Chick-fil-A doesn't like gay people. It's like, well, nothing to do. We don't care. Keep politics out. What? Okay, nice meme.
Yeah, and that even that kind of like summary of it is like really disingenuous because, like, so if a company isn't selling as much as they like need to sell to make a profit and everything, what do they end up doing? They end up having sales.
Yeah.
Who's going to end up buying the products? People who are broke.
Yeah.
The people who theoretically, especially in America, the people that company is against.
Yeah, I mean, like we don't understand elasticity in this country at all. Like, oh, healthcare. Well, if prices go up too much, people will stop buying them. It's like, are you sure about that? Yeah. It's like, have you heard about elasticity and inelasticity in the marketplace? No. Like, I unironically argued with someone who never heard the term elasticity, and I had to explain to him why and keep in mind, this guy was over 30 years old, by the way. And I literally had to explain to him what elasticity was and why healthcare is an inelastic product. I'm like, all right, nice meme. Very nice.
Like healthcare to me, it like has always been like a human right. Like I grew up in a country where like if I go and like ironically, like for example, if I get run over by an ambulance tomorrow,
yeah,
I don't have to pay for the ambulance ride.
Yeah, probably fine.
Or if I need like open heart surgery, I don't have to pay for it. It comes out of my taxes. Like,
I mean, I don't even like. It's not even that bad for me. It's literally like, all right, we have the resources to give everyone free healthcare. Yes. All right, explain to me why we shouldn't do it. I don't know. Like, same thing. Like, it's the same thing for, like, anything. Like, if we have the resources to do something good, why wouldn't we do it? It's like, it costs money. I'm like, all right, take it away from the rich people. That punishes them. It's like, yes, I know. Like, are you saying the like, sadness of rich people having only millions of dollars instead of billions outweighs people literally dying of like preventable diseases and paying like $10,000 for like a minor surgery to their thumb? Is this a joke? Yeah, I don't know, dude.
I find it absurd because there was a statistic that came out is that people would rather pay $500 on a gun in the southern states of America than pay $500 for healthcare.
True. Yeah.
They would rather pay for a gun to either like kill themselves or kill someone else.
Yep.
Than pay for healthcare that would probably save both themselves and someone else.
My feel when I hear gun right owners say, we need to prevent gun violence. Okay, great, let's do background checks. No. It's like, wait, why not? The government is going to take my gun. What? No. What? It's like, it'll cost me money. It's like, your driver's license costs you money. It's like Jesus
Like
Christ, dude.
there was a like even like even conservatives in New Zealand after the Christchurch like incident happened.
Hmm.
Like even they understood like why they had to have like sell like why the government had to buy those guns back
Yeah,
because they didn't want that shit to happen again.
yeah, yeah.
And it's not even like, oh, the government is taking my guns away. No, the
No, yeah, they
government is
did a buyback program. That's probably the
yeah, did a
best thing. They literally incentivized people. It was an opt-in policy that did a good cause. Like I'm perfectly fine with that. Sure, dude.
yeah, yeah, like like the most like staunchly conservative like Kiwis in like New Zealand understood why that was like really important to do.
Yeah, dude, I don't. When I look at world politics rather, I don't understand. Like, when you tell me a conservative in a different country, and you compare it to an American conservative, like an American conservative will never agree with a left wing with like a liberal policy. Like conservatives in Canada are like, yeah, dude, we all agree about healthcare. We argue about like how much spending we should have on like infrastructure. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, yeah, like in England, like yeah, if you don't think if you don't think healthcare is a right, you're an idiot in England. And like,
Yeah.
wait, wouldn't you just be No, like even conservatives agree about this. You're an idiot. Shut up. Like, wait, what? What do conservatives and liberals argue about then? Like, I don't understand.
Even, I can put this in a perfect example because I live in the perfect country to like basically like summarize like so if I told you like Scottish Conservative Party, who do you, like give a description of who you would assume if it was America, who would be the leader of the Scottish Conservatives?
Mm-hmm. Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't
Like,
know. Oh, if you were to ask an American who I don't know,
Yeah.
like.
you would assume that it was a white guy.
Oh yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Wrong. The leader of the Scottish Conservatives is a woman called Ruth Davidson. And
Nice.
She's a lesbian. She's lesbian. She's
Unacceptable.
married. She has a child.
Mm.
She's ex-military and working class.
Disgusting.
And also, when it came to the abortion vote in Ireland, she voted. She promoted people to vote in favor of allowing abortions.
Mm-hmm. Wait, that's crazy.
Yeah.
What do
She's the
conservatives
leader
argue
of
about
the-
in other countries? I don't understand. How do other countries have problems with their politics?
So, the biggest discrepancy when it comes to the Conservatives, especially in Scotland, is the argument of where the money for the healthcare system should come from. It's not the factor of whether the healthcare system should exist.
It's just who should
So,
pay
like-
for it. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So do we do a Germany style system where you pay like a couple of bucks, like a couple of bucks like a month, and
Yeah.
you just like you still get the same amount of coverage? It's basically subsidization by the public.
Mm-hmm.
Or do you do like a sales tax thing, which makes sense because you're basically like doing a consumer tax, and you use the money from consumer taxes to pay for the healthcare system. That way, you're getting a constant flow of cash from like the economy back into the healthcare system. That makes sense, even from a socialist standpoint.
Sorry, you just gave me a dank social media post. 1 second. Sales tax is just crowdfunding. Just government run crowdfunding.
So here's the possible irony and almost borderline like it's kind of morbidly ironic.
Mhm.
So like if you ran a system like that and you had like full coverage, like full like NHS coverage, which is the National Health Service in the UK, and you were just paying for it via your like sales taxes or value-added taxes, you buy a can of Monster that has a higher risk of giving you a heart attack, and you have a heart attack, the money that you paid for the Monster is going to revive you from the heart attack.
There you go. I buy cigarettes to support America. God bless my country.
Um, but even to like, so there's an economic like, even if you are against high taxes, you can still be a left winger
Hmm.
because there's an ideology on the left called Georgism, and it came from Henry George, who was an American economist. Um, and his whole thing, thing was what we call a single tax economy.
Uh-huh.
So we get rid of income taxes, we get rid of corporate taxes, and we just introduce a land value tax. Because it's much more difficult for a billionaire to say that they don't own a piece of land when all their shit is on it.
Yeah, true.
uh, it's much easier for them to get out of paying like income taxes. And Georgism exists on both the left and the right,
Mhm.
but it's more popular on the left amongst people who used to be right-wing libertarians.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they can still keep that aspect of it. And guess what? With land value taxes, it's consistent. The
Yeah.
taxes you paid last year are going to be the same taxes you pay this year. The only time that it will ever change is if the housing market crashes, in which case you're fucked.
Yeah. I really like the idea of actually I want to get your opinion on this of something very Keynesian style of like tax of having like a really high sales tax on like on what is it called? When it's not essential, what the hell is it called? What is the product called?
Luxury.
What? Yes, luxury. Yes,
Luxury.
yeah. Like having higher income, higher taxes on luxury items, and then lowering sales tax on like food, or stuff like that.
So that's what a lot of countries, and like Germany does it. Germany has a conservative government, and that's what they do.
Wait,
so, like,
no. There's no way Germany has a conservative government. They have paid spas. They have government. Oh my! This is a joke. How do I exist in this country? I don't understand. All right. Okay. Continue. Sorry.
And also on top of that, Norway has a conservative government.
Wait.
Norway.
Nice.
Yeah, Norway. That country.
UBI, by the way, Norway. Nice.
Yeah. That country that Bernie Sanders like paints as like a social democracy.
Yeah.
Which it still is, even though it's run by a conservative government.
Socialist conservative. Nice.
So so what they do in Norway that's really fucking interesting is the reason why they can afford like a really strong welfare state and everything is because they ensure what is called state capitalism. And state capitalism is when the state gets involved in the stock market, and I don't mean like regulation wise.
Like they literally buy stocks. Yeah.
Yes.
That sounds fantastic.
And they also are the large, like, so for like Coca-Cola and Facebook and everything, literally some of the biggest players in that shareholder meeting is literally the country of Norway.
That sounds great. Why doesn't America do this? Why doesn't every country do this? What is the downside to this?
So when Facebook changed their like wage policy, so they would have like equal pay for like men and women.
Yeah.
It was actually a policy brought forward by the government of Norway.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
And because it was an equal transaction, they gave them a shit ton of money.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. Why are citizens buying stock good? Citizens don't have like. So this is literally tactics of the rich 101. Divide and conquer. If it's much better for me to have one shareholder that has 10% of the company and a billion shareholders that have 90% to make me a plurality than have like 3 stockholders that have a majority of the company and I have to deal with 2 other people. This is like literally tactics of entrenching your power 101. Just divide power amongst a bunch of little people so no one individual can do something instead of having another big power you have to contend with. What are you talking about? Nice meme. Okay, right. Sorry.
Okay, right. So back in the 1970s, Norway developed the Dutch disease, which is basically an economic situation where a country finds a shit ton of oil,
Hmm.
So what they did is, unlike Britain, where we basically just milked it for all it was worth, um, Norway gradually just like lower it. They basically just like capped it and just slowly started like churning out the oil.
Hmm.
So what do you, with a center-left state capitalist system, what do you think they did with the money that they got from the oil?
I mean, they probably funneled it into like healthcare or social programs, right?
Wrong.
Oh.
What they did is they used the money from the oil to buy stocks from every corner
Oh,
of the planet.
nice.
And they used the money that they got from the stocks, like in dividends,
Yeah.
and put it into a massive, massive piggy bank. And that's what they used to pay for the welfare state.
That sounds. Why doesn't? Okay, wait. Can like in good faith, can you actually tell me what the either the downsides or the potential downsides of like having a country, or having a government invest in stocks is?
I can't think of one, to be honest, and to be honest, like state capitalism doesn't even sound that bad to me.
Okay, like I mean, I can think of like I would probably introduce a law that a government can't have like a plurality of stocks, and this should probably happen after we reform campaign finance laws in America. So
Yes.
like we don't have corrupt politicians being like, "Oh yeah, America should definitely buy all of eBay's stocks," and then like 5 months later, "All right, we're crashing eBay. Let's go, everyone, buy Amazon stocks." Nice man. Like, wait, what happened here? What? But yeah, no. Other than that, that sounds fantastic.
I think I think right. So if it's done in like a center-left fashion, like what Norway is doing, um, then it's really good. But like I can think of like a few right-wingers that would just use like the money from the stocks to like fund the military and just take over the world. I can see that happening. But if it's done in like a Norway, like Nordic style, I can like I can totally see that working, and it does work because Norway's been doing it since like the fucking 70s. So
Yeah. I mean, like literally in America, some of the biggest tax or marketplace experts in the world or in the country are legislators because they know what laws will affect stocks, so they can Oh, yeah. Wait, I just realized this. That sounds really bad to me. Yeah. Hey, how do we prevent like making laws to artificially boost the stocks the government has?
I do believe that the Norwegian Parliament has like a third party that basically has special license to put regulations in to stop the government from buying too many stocks.
Oh, okay. Or if you could tell me, like, just the Treasury of the United States can buy, like, the Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve? Yeah, no, yes, yeah. The Federal
Yeah.
Reserve, since it's an independent company, can buy stocks and they're not affiliated in any way. Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, sure, why
Yeah.
not? Oh, merch clans? Yeah, dude, we merch it up. Hell yeah. I mean, we have merch clans in America. What do you mean? What, like, do you think J.P. Morgan is not a merch clan? What do you mean? All right. Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, the thing with the other thing with like Norway, the reason why they put like a limit on like how much oil they can like drill out the ground is because it was like it cost a lot more like per barrel of oil to like bring out the ground, so they wanted to use it very strategically, so that they could drill out the ground for the least amount of money but still get the most amount of profit, so they could like throw more money into the stock market, and thus get the most returns out of it. So like Norway currently has like a GDP of like $400 billion,
Nice.
and that is not even including the money they've saved over 40 years. Their rough estimates put Norway as having over $1 trillion set away in their piggy bank to use for welfare.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that'll basically, if Norway like like their economy crashed and they stopped producing any money, that would last them for at least 70 to 100 years, like welfare wise.
Seems good. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
That's something really big in America. Is like, all right, we're gonna fund Social Security, right? Yeah, it's like, all right, actually, we're just gonna dip into Social Security. People aren't gonna need this, right? Yeah, it should be fine. It's like, all right, hey, by the way, in like 20 years, Social Security is gonna run out. I was like, wait, what do you mean? Like we paid into it, right? It's like, yeah, and it was government insured, right? It was like, yeah, it's like, so you're saying we're at risk of not getting our money? It's like, well, yeah, sometimes it happens. Like, what do you mean?
Do you mean I'm not gonna get my pension
Yeah.
that I paid into?
Yeah, or my favorite part of like, yeah, so we went to war, right? Yeah, it's like, and now we're sick and you're going to like help us because like we have PTSD, right? It's like, well, actually we cut funding to VAs. Like, what do you mean? It's like, yeah, you're going to have to wait like 9 months. Like, what do you mean? Like, I just risked my life for you and you can't even give me like psychiatric help. I was like, yeah, no, sorry, buddy. What?
No.
Like, how do we justify, like, homeless military people? I don't understand. I actually just don't understand this country sometimes.
I actually scrapped that last number. It just went up to 443 billion.
Oh, congratulations to Norway.
Yeah, they 43 billion, and that means they have $82,711 dollars going into each capital per capita.
Wait, Zach is literally purporting to me that JP Morgan doesn't artificially inflate stock prices by investing in certain companies, and other companies don't artificially inflate stock prices. Nice. Very nice, yes. Can confirm. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, like, to be honest, that's one point I actually agree with, Bernie Sanders very strongly on. I agree with him on everything else, but that's one thing I agree with him like very strongly on.
What?
We should be like more like Norway. We should.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, dude, I don't understand. Like, and taking the argument to the extreme also is like, well, if we screw over the rich too much, they'll leave. It's like, well, then we just strengthen the world government, and they won't, and like they have nowhere to go. Like my favorite argument, and this was something I was introduced to very early on, well, relatively early on in life, was, well, like when we give slave wages to people, like, and then we tell them we're going to increase that, the companies are just going to move to a different country. It's like, well, what if we increase it in another country? Well, then they'll move. Well, what if we do it again? Well, then they'll move. It's like, what if we have like a unifying world governing body of nations in a union, possibly called the United Nations, I'm not sure though, that sets minimum wage, and so no business can pull exploitative worker practices. Like, well, that'll never happen. Oh, okay, nice. Okay, nice.
Feels good, man.
Alright, check this out. Suddenly electric cars are bad. We found 9,000% carbon, which produces zero emission. Tesla dies. Tesla could have been a merch clan, but economic factors killed them. What? As a more intelligent human being than me, can you read that sentence and tell me what he's saying?
Suddenly electric cars are shit. We found 9,000% carbon, which produces zero emission.
Tesla dies. Tesla could have been a merch clan, but economic I don't.
I'm pretty sure Phantom has been drinking this entire time. And
oh yeah, no, I probably, yeah. Zach, nice meme. All right, yeah, Zach, I have no idea. If you could rephrase that into something legible, that would be fantastic.
Lonely day on the barracks. Lonely day.
What I'm saying is Illuminate and merch clans literally can't exist because capitalism. What do you mean? They literally do exist. Wait, do you not know what happened in 2008? Were you asleep for like 3 years? What do you mean? Like the housing crisis? What? I don't understand. Like the housing crisis of 2008 literally happened because of inflated stock prices and inflated bond ratings on housing stuff. Yeah, what's up?
You know Hassan Piker?
Yes.
The one you were talking about before. He actually streams on Twitch.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's where my laser marks came from.
Nice. Yeah, they didn't win in. Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, no, I could. Yeah, when you're like Hassan, I still haven't realized fully what Hassan's communist beliefs are. But yeah, he always says he's like, oh yeah, I'm a hardcore communist. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, like that's like his almost his brand by this point.
Yeah.
But like he's what we class as like a syndicalist. So like syndicalists are like the ones that like old school, basically like the anarchist and like communist versions of like the old school trade unionists, like industrial unionists. That's basically what Hassan is.
Nice.
Yeah. He's not quite an anarchist, but he's not authoritarian. He kind of just like is squished between the two.
Alright, what else? I don't know. Is there anything else I might disagree with you on? I don't know.
Given the fact that we've ironed out pretty much everything else.
Yeah, yeah. Other than, oh yeah, yeah. Can you explain to me under, yeah. So under communism, can you explain to me how we hold on. Should probably not have this on my second window. Oh, it's just a meme. Never mind. I was just worried it was an inappropriate meme. Anyway, can you explain to me how we remedy the situation if we ever have a worker sort? Jesus Christ. Alright, listen. When I'm sleep deprived, my S's, I slur all my words. I'm really sorry. Okay, if you caught me like in 2 days, perfectly fine. But today I'm slurring everything. Okay, how do we, like, if there's a worker shortage, or like a shortage of some sort, under a communist society, how do we remedy this?
Well, one way is we go back to like the whole thing of we would have to have like preventative measures to stop it from happening.
Of course.
Before communism even came in. So like if you go via the socialist way of like having like la salary à vie and everything else like that, that would allow us to have a highly educated population and things, stuff like that.
Sure. Yeah, sure. I agree. Skills. So I'm just saying, like, I agree with you. I will agree with pretty much any preventative measures you say. No problem. But I'm just saying, in the eventuality that it happens, how do we remedy it? And I will acknowledge, like, probably it'll be very rare. I agree generally when people are allowed to do, like, what they love, like, perfectly fine. Yeah, continue, though.
Yeah, people will still become doctors, and people will still want to, like, pick up trash on the street. Like, yeah. People will still want to do, like, whatever the fuck they want. Like, if people are naturally lazy, they'll go for, the job that they can do, like mind-numbingly easily.
Yeah. I mean, but typically, don't the studies show, like, people generally, when they're given when they're given economic freedom, they usually pick, like, rewarding work that almost is never, like, mind-numbingly easy?
Yeah. The studies tend to show that, like, people tend to go for, like, jobs that are most out of their, like, personal comfort zone and stuff like that. Kind of push them into, like, areas of work that they otherwise wouldn't have like considered, really.
Yeah.
So like someone who is like very socially inept would probably end up going into like business or something like that. And it would develop their personal skills, but also like they would have like enough like funds and enough resources and enough connections to like help other people. Like, that's kind of like their whole thing. Or people who have like a fear of blood end up becoming doctors.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting. But yeah, so anyway, so when what's it called? When there's a shortage, how are we fixing it?
Well,
by the way, I'm baiting you into saying something. I'll just let you know right now. I'm super baiting you into saying something, but go ahead.
I think the easiest way within a communist system would be to provide better incentives for people to.
That is the exact word I wanted to say. Oh my god! So you're literally saying it's money with extra steps. I hate you. I win. I'm #1. Get out of here. Just kidding.
Yeah, but you still agree with me.
No, I agree. Yes, no, I agree with everything you said. I just think it's like, I just think you're literally saying it's money with extra steps. And like, I was literally going to say, maybe we should incentivize them with more rewards, such as, maybe money. But, oh well, it's fine. Yeah, no, but instead you would just...
Money. Not money.
Yeah, no.
Money. We're not going to bring back money just because we have a shortage of people.
Bring back money? We'll give them points that they can exchange for goods and services. We'll give them pachinko balls. I hate you. Go away.
I'll just give them a bigger house. It's fine.
Yeah, no, yeah. Like if you just say like, oh, we'll give them like bigger property, or like a doctor makes 1.1 hours for like a garbage man's 1 hour. Like, sure, dude. I guess why not? I'm not like, yeah, I guess why not. All right, comp crash
Well,
button.
that's also another way of putting it. Like to that would be like another
We
incentive
need
that
the
would kind of feed into.
poor and the rich. Why?
We need the poor and the rich.
Why do we need poor people? Boy, I'm fine with saying it's fine to be rich, but are you saying like we need homeless people? What do you mean? Like I said, like I'll take your argument to the extreme. What do we do with people who can't work? Do we just execute them? Like,
And also, that's the biggest thing that pisses me off with conservatives is like, especially like conservative businessmen. They're like, oh, I'm sick and tired of having all these homeless people like begging me for money and stuff like that. And I'm just they're like, how about you pay your fucking taxes so we have more money to put into welfare so those people don't have to live on the fucking streets.
yeah, but natural selection is good, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, and then last thing, and then you have 17 minutes because my housemate wants to watch a show I've got her addicted to. Yeah. Oh, wait, have you heard of New Amsterdam? Speaking of socialist propaganda.
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
I
perfect.
yet to watch it. So
it's literal socialist propaganda. I love it, dude. It's like it critiques all of the problems in Medicare using New York City as an example, and it's basically about this like doctor who's like, wait, this system sucks. Let's change this whole system, starting with this hospital. And it's like, wait, you can't do that. And it's like, yeah, I can. Watch me. And then like the hospital ends up like being perfectly fine. It's like, wait, this policy is really stupid. Like in New York, there's this law. It's like, wow, that's really stupid. Hey, we should lobby against it. And then it works. I'm like, all right, cool, nice. But yeah, so it's actually socialist propaganda, but I love the characters, and also I love socialist propaganda. But anyway, so final thing that I fundamentally disagree with communism, which I pretty much agreed with you on everything. But no. So like the money, like I will disagree on like it's money with extra steps, but like if you can convince me that it's efficient enough, like yeah, sure, it's not that big of a deal. I do not care to have the argument. And yeah, if you say like we incentivize people with whatever thing, like either A, we reduce their costs, or in my opinion, we just give them more rewards. Like either one is fine. So you said like we give them bigger houses. Okay, yeah, sure, dude, why not?
Like, and there's the other thing is like the case in point for like anarcho-communists is like to try and like the argument against like authoritarianism is like authoritarianism uses like the stick. Like just beats people down and
Yeah.
like, forces like uses like some degree of violence or some degree of like coercion to get like people to like behave in a certain manner, whilst like anarcho-communists, it's not a factor of oh we can afford to do this, it's the factor of wait, if you can think of doing it, why don't we do it?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's more of like yeah.
And I think also I don't think this is the main reason why, but this is another big reason why like we tend to go toward like more Jesus Christ, authoritarian. I need sleep. Authoritarian views is because it's easier to sell because people don't understand psychology. It's like, well, if we don't do this, people are just going to be like super late. Like it's really hard to sell like universal basic income because the intuitive position in universal basic income is, well, if I just get enough money to survive, like why would I even want to work, right? like that's the intuitive position, but actually that's not the case. And it's much easier to say, well, people are actually like really bad, and we need to make sure they don't do bad things, instead of saying,
Yeah.
and it's easier to make people afraid of it than to say, oh, we should just incentivize good things because people are actually generally not idiots and like will do things that benefit them, sort of, and we can motivate
Also,
people to do that.
Phantom, I hate to break it to you, but there was this whole thing with America where they actually like bombed the dams that next to farmland, and the dams burst and like ruined all the farmland. So there is kind of that.
Yeah. Also, like, I'm pretty to be honest. Now, this is going to be a hot take. You're really going to hate me, but from almost everything you've said, I've heard. I completely agree on the anarchist side of what you say. I believe you're an anarchist, but I genuinely don't think you're a communist for a lot of the things you've said. Because I'm about to ask you a question. I think you're going to either A, contradict yourself, or B, say something that isn't communist. So I don't think you're in favor of having literally everyone for every profession have the same pay. You're more in favor of like all doctors being paid the same and all like computer engineers being paid the same, but you're not in favor of like a doctor being paid the same as a computer engineer, right? Or something along those lines.
It's more of the factor I'm in favor of everyone being I'm in favor of no one getting as rich as Bill Gates.
True. Yeah.
That's
So
kind of
you're
my whole
yeah you want like a baseline for everyone, and you also want a cap for everyone as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's also for me, like, I wouldn't phrase it as being paid the same, but having the same opportunities as everyone else. And also like not having anything like, I think the only time I would ever be okay with like increasing like an incentive to go into a particular job is if we have a shortage of it.
Yeah. Sure. I mean,
otherwise,
I would just say like I would just say like it's kind of similar to our system. Like if it's harder to, I mean, like on the baseline, if it's harder to do, then probably reward it more. Like
anarchism doesn't mean no rules. It actually means direct democracy.
I hate, yeah, Conger missed part one of this debate where we defined what anarchy meant in this case. Yeah. So yeah, so basically anarchy means not government run. So change it to not government run.
Yes, or rather, opposition to unjustified hierarchy. The only time a hierarchy should exist is if there is no other that is like, people run does not equate government. So let me give you a basic. Let me go to high school level politics. Right.
Here we go. All right, I'll sit back. I'm laying down, dude. Because I already know everything you say. I agree with it. Go for it, my dude. Let's hear it.
Government refers to the body in which has control of the state apparatus, and the state apparatus is things like the military, the welfare state, as well as the basically everything to do with, so police, welfare, healthcare, everything, and the actual parliament itself, and the House of Lords, the Senate, the Judiciary Committee. Everything along those lines is the state apparatus. Government is anything, right? Government is the body in which the body that has a monopoly on violence. That is what the state is. Anarchists are against the state because it has a monopoly on violence, and there's no way to get rid of the violence, the monopoly on violence that the state has, without getting rid of the police, the military, etc. You literally can't have a government that does not have a monopoly on violence in some way or another. In fact, there was a Conservative member of Parliament who let this slip during an interview, where a guy called Rory Stewart, who is running for the leader of the Conservatives at the moment, and he said, there is literally no power here. The only power a government has to try and prove that it's capable of doing anything is to declare war on another country, because it doesn't involve their own country.
Yeah,
So
Conger. Oh, sorry.
when a government feels like it's being inept and doesn't feel like it's doing anything, it sends fuckers like you, Phantom, to another country so it seems like it's doing something.
Conger, I'll define it to you really simply. Basically, what you just said is saying, like, the manager of McDonald's equals government, or, like, the leader of a union is government. They have political power in the general sense of political, but they're not a government. Like, what he advocates for is something along the lines of like having a direct
Democratic system.
yeah, a direct democrat society that's that elects like managers, such as like in a co-op, in like a business co-op,
So,
having
so
people
if-
vote with stocks. But voting does not imply that it's government.
yes.
Unless you want to define government more loosely, then yes, it is a government. But he defines government very differently, or I mean, he defines government like government's defined, as in like it has like it has
Authority
like
over-
authority with through police and stuff. Yeah,
And the other aspect of it.
sounds like a democratic republic with extra steps. Can we just meme him and just break down everything? Money with extra.
Can we just?
No, it's not a democratic republic. I mean, it's kind of adding extra steps to a democratic republic, so we would still have government, but we also like strengthen unions to such a point where like the government loses a lot of power, and all the government is good for is like probably providing healthcare, police force, and that's about it. Yeah, and military, obviously. Yeah.
And like and diplomatic relations with.
Oh yeah, and like obviously like the leader of the manager of McDonald's in Arlington, Texas, isn't gonna go negotiate with the president of Sweden. Yeah, like obviously, nice meme. Yeah.
I would pay money to see that.
Yeah. Oh no, haven't you heard? Oh, I have. Yeah. So last meme, and then we'll finish up the question. What did I want to say? There was if I can try to find it. Who said it? I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Someone said, I think it was Finland. Oh yeah, wait. I can actually find it. I know who said it now. There we go. Okay. Oh, in Austria, U.S. citizens who need help in Austria. So basically, McDonald's is partnering with the country of Austria to help to basically be trained, so they can provide like pseudo, what is it called? Not a consulate, pseudo embassy services to American citizens. Like they have, they're trained in like to call hotlines and stuff if like a U.S. citizen lost a passport. And stuff like that, and everyone's memeing it because they think they're basically like, yeah, give me my Mick passport or whatever, but it's hilarious. Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, so sorry.
Open up your passport and you find the fly in it.
I want to talk to the manager. I am Karen. Anyway, yeah, so basically TLDR is I'm pretty sure we both agree in some respect that if the job requires 8 years of training versus 0 years of training, there should probably be more of an incentive in some form or fashion, or more of a reward in some form or fashion. All right, great. We agree on everything. Excellent.
And if our capitalist economic system is going to continue to exist, we have to implement something like salary of E, and also like increase our welfare spending, and also like prepare for like the inevitable fact that a lot of jobs are going to become automated and or replaced with like other jobs that are completely meaningless.
I agree. No, yeah, I agree with that 100%. I already agreed with with that. Whatever. All right. So next debate is I convince you that you're actually an anarcho-socialist instead of an anarcho-communist. Great.
I'm fine with any form of anarchism.
All right,
Apart
great.
from anarcho-capitalism, that can get
Yeah, no, anarcho-capitalism is like we reduce government and then we also create a free market. Are you sure
And we
about?
also put corporations in charge.
Oh, ooh, nice. We have an oligarchy of corporations. Very nice. Any form of anarchy, Monka S. Oh yeah. Oh, and Conger, to counter your memes for a second. Yes, I believe strongly in a meritocracy, but I also believe. But see, here's the soundbite you should take away from this. It's okay to be rich. It's not okay to be poor. Okay, that's the soundbite you should take away from this. Therefore, we should kill all the poor people. Just kidding. What actually? No, but so like there should.
Kevin, end with me.
Yeah. but what did I want to say? We should reward people for doing good work. I agree. And like natural selection is great, but we should also like not punish people for being like stupid. Like we shouldn't kill stupid people and kill like mentally disabled people and kill people who like have other disabilities that prevent them from working. Like we should still give them like a house and like reasonable human accommodations so they can live like a decent life, like a dignified life that probably can lead to some happiness. I mean, wait, as a Catholic, like you literally agree with this, right? Like you want people to
speaking, absolutely.
Yeah, like you literally agree with this. What the hell? And you also want people to reproduce. And what's great about reproduction? Like probably not having a bunch of homeless people with STDs running around. You probably want to give them like decent health care so they can actually reproduce and support a family. All right, nice meme. Anyway, you have I'll give you like up to 5 minutes to say anything you want, my dude.
Oh, it's all I actually like at the moment I'm in a bit of a bind personally. That's what I meant when I said my situation has changed quite a bit.
Sure.
Is that at the moment I, because of Brexit and because of like the recent welfare cuts and because of the NHS cuts and everything, I'm in a really difficult situation just now where I'm basically having to like raise money so that I don't die in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, yikes.
So like at the moment I'm literally, it sounds really bad, but it's like I'm basically like fanatically looking for places where I can like just post my links and everything else like that. And, like,
oh yeah, sure, dude.
Because I've got practically like nothing.
Give me those links. I eat those links up. Give them to me right now.
Sure thing. I shall. Well, if my Twitter stops like fucking refreshing over and over again, and.
Oh yeah, wait. You have a Twitter is my biggest following by far. Yeah, if you let me post stuff on Twitter of yours, yeah, you'll get some juice from me. Let's look at my impressions. Let me stroke my ego real quick. 33.5K monthly impressions. Let's go, boy.
But yeah, like basically what's going on just now is like the welfare state has been cut to the point where I absolutely need a like written diagnosis from a neurologist, because what at the moment I'm in the middle of being diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
Oh, yikes.
Which is in most cases is a formal diagnosis from every workforce on the planet, because for 6 months out of the year I am so physically deteriorated because of the MS that I can't physically do anything. But like the other 6 months, I'm so physically deteriorated because of the medication to try and stop my attacks from happening. And because it's a problem with the immune system, they basically crush your immune system. So I get like colds, fever, everything related to that all the time. So I can't work either. I'm just basically just like I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. So like I have like a couple of weeks to wait until like until I can like get an appointment and like maybe like start the process of like getting disability benefit. And even that's not a guarantee.
Yeah, I got you.
But I will send you over. There's so many like. Oh no, that's the one where I said that Larry the cat should be prime minister.
Nice. Dude, Lord Buckethead is the Lord and Savior. Actual good debate. It was barely a debate. We just ended up agreeing with stuff. The only real debate I did was a bunch of Destiny fans posing as Trump supporters. That was great.
That's the like tweet.
Alright, so let's get this retweeted real quick. Let's do that.
And if you could, I'm not expecting you to like actually do this, but if you could actually like shout me out in like this Discord or like whatever Discord.
Hey, no problem. Hey, listen. So first of all, instant follow. Second of all, I'm gonna post. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna post a highlight of us talking, on all my social media, and then link you in the tweet, Facebook post, and Discord post in here, and I'm also going to post it in the UTA Esports Discord. Yeah, for sure, my dude. Don't worry about it.
Oh, thanks so much, Kevin.
Yeah. Oh, you stream as well? Oh, nice, dude.
お前はもう死んでいる。何？
Alright, sorry, I literally didn't hear the last 30 seconds because someone subbed. Oh, thank you, Alex, for the sub. Yeah, if you could repeat right after I said OU stream, I didn't hear a single word you just said.
Yeah, I do once in a while. Well, I don't stream like any games or anything. I just like do political commentary.
Oh, perfect.
It's going on in like America, or if something's going on in the UK and stuff like that. That's typically what I do.
Sure.
Like last time I streamed like consistently was like for like 6 hours, and that was for like the midterms.
Oh, nice.
I did like a 6-hour stream where I basically just sat and just like spoke about the midterms.
Yeah. No, truly not to pressure you, but if you're ever streaming and you want someone on, and I'm not streaming, I'd love to be on your stream for sure and just meme around with you on your channel. But yeah, sure, dude. Or do a duo stream or something.
My chat is just like filled with like anarchists and like communists.
No, oh, dude, I'll eat it up.
Yeah.
I want your chat to flame me so hard. I want to be like, all right, I'm an NA boy. I think capitalism is pretty good. Even though I've had 2 like 3-hour discussions with our boy. Hook me up. Yeah. All right. Nice. Libertarian, anarchist. Oh my god. There are too many adjectives in your profile. Occasional, right? All around vape nerd. Nice. Yeah. True.
That's what you can hear like once in a while when I do this.
Yeah. No, I heard you. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Can you link for personal interest? Can you link me like the site you write on, or the sites, or like somewhere you mainly write on?
Sure. I mostly just use Steemit nowadays. Like I write once in a while if I get creator block a lot, mainly because I get just cognitive fog. Quite a lot. But anytime I do get a good idea for like what I can write about and everything, I mostly just do it on Steemit.
What is Steemit?
Steemit is basically Reddit, but you get paid in cryptocurrency depending on how well you do.
Wait, really? Well, I know what I'm putting on my list of things to do. Because my current writing job, I get paid no money whatsoever. I like it, but I don't get paid.
They do go through a verification process. Well, when I signed up, they definitely did. But if you're a very good writer and you're very consistent and stuff like that, you can.
Wait, define consistent though. Just out of curiosity, I'll ask you more about it.
If you can put like at least like a journal piece or something out like once a week, that's what I mean by like consistent. Like,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll ask you. Yeah, I'll ask you more specific. What is it? Any topic you want, or does it?
Anything.
Ooh. So yeah, it's literally like Reddit, but for All right, cool. Yeah. So yeah, just link me that. And I want to ask you more specific questions in private that stream doesn't need to hear about. And yeah.
I appreciate all your help, Kevin.
Yeah, no
I
problem.
also appreciate you letting me like sit in your stream and also take the piss out of
No. Oh yeah, no, I'm down. You can troll my viewers anytime you want. So this is his Twitter, and yeah, I'll link his and yeah, he has his Twitch linked on his Twitter as well, and I'm waiting for his Steam it. No, Twitch only. I don't care. You can literally wait. You can scroll up and literally click on his thing. Stop being lazy. Click on that. Click on his stream. Yeah, it's me. That's literally him. Nice. XD. Oh, mega lol. All right, nice meme.
But yeah, like I've literally just like made rounds on like a shit ton of like leftist subreddits and everything. But at the moment, like between like America and the UK, where most of like the subreddit like redditors like on those subs are from, like everyone's fucked. So everyone's not got any money to spare.
Interesting.
Like on the pool, I've managed to like garner like $65 out of like 950. That's in the space of like 5 days.
Hey, we take it.
I'm happy. I'm happy to get almost anything at this point, but.
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, I say this all the time. I enjoy arguing. We didn't really argue that much, except for like the definition of money. But other than that, yeah, no. But I enjoy conversations. I enjoy venting about my country being a dank meme.
If it makes you feel any better, like when I'm talking to like capitalists and I'm talking to like social democrats or even other people on the left, like that's where like the contingency tends to be, is like over my definition or like or each other's definitions of money.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because I mean, both of us understand like we're what's it called? We're really big into categorize. Oh my god, Jesus, labeling things. We're really big into labeling things. So like my labels mean something different than your labels. So yeah, like I would probably label you as anarcho-socialist, and then I would be perfectly fine.
That would just be what we class as a social anarchist. Yeah.
So yeah, but anarcho-socialist sounds like 10 IQ higher than social anarchist.
There's also like anarcho-collectivism and stuff like that. And for the more politically astute of us, or the centrists, there's mutualism, which is basically you still have like collectivized workplaces and like workplace democracy, but you can still buy and sell things on the market. So basically, it's the natural successor to like anarcho-capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically it.
There you go. Hey, link me your Steam it. Holy moly.
Oh sure. My bad.
No. Yeah, I just got the feeling. I'm like, wait, I'm feeling like he's not actually nice. There we go. All right, Pog. Is there a way to follow people on Steam it?
Sure, yeah. You can.
Oh, I probably
just click
should
the
like.
follow button and everything.
Except I need to sign up for it. All right, nice.
Yeah. But like I do like I cover like representative democracy. I talk about like the like Ireland's political situation. Like I do like a splash of like everything, mostly politics, mostly like sociology. Like I talk about intersexuality. I talk about like gender and everything from a sociological perspective, because that's one of the big topics at the moment. Is like what is like gender and like how is it fair to legislate it?
Mm-hmm.
I think as long as you're protecting gender identities, I think you can legislate it. That makes sense. Like the same as like having the Equality Act and like having like bills that stop like discrimination against these people. Go for it. Like as long as it's that, but don't go around saying you can't be like non-binary or something like that. That's just ridiculous.
Gotcha.
It's almost dystopian in my view.
Yeah, true.
It's...
Interesting. Alright, cool. Alright, let me see what... Oh, God. So the first thing that triggers me is I write very short paragraphs because that's just my training. So that's the first thing. Scottish independence is a widespread topic, not just in Scotland, but all over the UK. Fantastic. Alright, great. All right, nice, dude. All right, yeah, for sure. Whenever I look into this, I'll probably after DreamHack, I'll super look into this. It sounds super appealing to me. Because right now, like I said, do you know what Cambly is, by the way?
Is that yeah? I've heard. Of
It's just online tutor. All you need to know, it's online tutoring. So basically, all of my income right now is what's it called? It's what's it called when you're like? I was about to say what's it called when you're self-employed. All of my income is self-employed. So basically, basically I dictate my own hours, 100% my own. Freelance. Basically. So yeah, all of my income is like self-employed mindset, where the more I work, the more money I make. Yeah.
Well, I got there first. I got there.
Good job. I'm proud of you, buddy. But yeah, no. So TLDR is like I'll be able to focus on that along with being able to do Cambly and spam articles. It'll be great. All right, cool, dude. I'll ask you questions about that. As I say at the end of all my interviews, even though this wasn't an interview, if you have any questions you wanted to answer or say anything, answer a question I didn't ask. What are the three things? It's answer a question I didn't ask. Answer a question I didn't ask. Leave an overall message or give me any additional information. Now's the time to do so. This is basically the say anything you want question.
Read David Graeber. He is the best person you can like read about, or he does like talks and everything else like that.
Oh, he does talk. All right, I was about to say I don't really read, but
a lot of his talks he does very well. Like he's an anarchist. Yeah, David Graeber.
Okay, nice.
He is a anarchist economic anthropologist.
Interesting.
He is actually the creator of the Occupy Wall Street movement. He was the brains behind it. And he was actually banned from teaching at Yale because of his political beliefs. Mm-hmm. So he decided, fuck it, I'm not going to teach at any of these Ivy League schools. I'm going to move to the UK and teach at the London School of Economics.
Nice.
Which is the most lefty university in the world.
Holy moly. Nice. All right.
It was started by the Fabian Society, which is Fabianism is basically like democratic socialism as we know it today.
Nice.
And it's the London School of Economics is basically where everyone goes if you want to be an economist.
Nice. Sorry, I was applying to Conger. He's DMing me in the middle of this. But all right, man. It was really fun talking to you. If you ever want to meme me again, as long as you don't meme me this week, because I'm actually practicing for DreamHack. This was super random. But yeah, so just hit me up whenever, my dude. And talk to you whenever. I'll at you in the tweet. I'll post your stuff on Facebook as well. Just give me a second to highlight the stuff, and that's pretty much it, man.
I sure do appreciate it, Kevin.
Yeah, no problem. Take it easy. Yep. Yeah. Take it easy, man. Thank you so much. All right. Bye. All right, my dudes. Listen. Hey. Listen. Click these buttons. Hey, first follow that anarcho-socialist that I definitely know. Hey, I should probably learn his name. And he definitely did not tell me. Does it have it on his Twitter? Okay, great. I don't know his name. All right, fantastic. Follow our democratic socialist anarcho boy on Twitter and all this. Click these links. They're great links. Hey, listen, click them all. I have a Discord, a Twitter, a Facebook. I also coach for UTA Esports. It's great. We're going. All right, listen, who are we hosting right now? Who's streaming? Neptune. Hemp beer. Oh, pizza. All right. You came here for Hearthstone content. I'll give you Hearthstone content. I click nice. /host. Pizza. HS. I don't know if it's... Wait, what? Alright, my dudes. Take it easy. I'll be back tomorrow. 2 to 10. It's going to be lit. Alright, take it easy, my dudes.